All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, John. How you doing this morning, my friend?
Carlos, how's it going?
Going good, man. So Peter is off this morning. John is going to be covering for him as we go through some of our regular stuff that we go through this morning. So yeah, quick look at our gappers list, friends. What's going on there? We have a little bit on the green, not a whole lot, and a bunch on the red this morning. So we'll see what's dropping some of these stocks down today and what's driving some of that action this morning. So we'll dive into all of that. There's a lot of economic stuff happening today. Powell is also speaking today. So we should see some action out of that. John is going to take us through what some of those things are for the day. I think one even happened this morning at 6? Yeah, 6 a.m. Yep.
Yeah, we had the NFIB Optimism Index forecasted at 104.5, came in at 102.8, and I don't really recall ever hearing about this one. So this is there's a place called the NFIB Research Foundation that collects small business economic trends data with quarterly surveys since 1973. Blah blah blah. So they survey small businesses, and it did drop, but it's this is the third month it's been above its 51-year average of like 98. So it's actually still up, but perhaps not quite as much as it was last quarter. So that's, I guess, some fairly bullish news. And then, or maybe not. And then we have a bunch of Fed speakers throughout the day. But the big one's Jerome speaking at 10 a.m. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, is going to be actually testifying to Congress. So it won't be one of his normal podium speeches at a lunch or something. He'll actually be talking to his bosses. So we'll see how that goes. And then throughout the day, there's some more. You got San Francisco, New York, and Governor Bowman speaking throughout the day.
Yeah, Powell will be interesting. And again, he's gotten so good at just deflecting, man, just deflecting left and right. He'll be perfectly fine in this meeting, and meeting's such a waste of time. They ask him questions that they already know the answers to. Whoever's on his side say, "Oh, I believe you've been doing a great job, man. Thank you for everything." And they throw meatball questions, right? And the ones that don't like him, they try to slam him. Why is it inflation is not down? I mean, we all know why it's down. Crap is a mess, right?
Actually, what I can see them doing today, Carlos, is they're going to, because of what's going on with Doge, I can see, especially some of the Democratic Congress people, perhaps asking questions about what are you going to do if Trump looks into the Fed, or you know what I mean? There actually could be some spicy questions there because they've been going through USAID, Department of Education, and there's been rumors they're going to audit the Fed, among other things, to include the Pentagon and other aspects of government. So that could get kind of interesting if Powell's put on the spot to. He
won't answer it, man. He won't answer. He's so good. He'll say, "You know what? I'm not going to answer hypotheticals." He said that before.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah,
I'm telling you, if you look at Powell when he first came on, he was a mess. And by his words, he'll drop the market or pop the market. Now, man, this guy has gotten so good at the politics and being so neutral. But yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of those questions. Should be fun to listen into. But we'll see how it goes. All right, friends, tradingterminal.com gets you this gappers list, gapping up, gapping down here. Let's take a look at the first one on the gap up list. SLQT is the one leading us this morning. They're up 31%, 986,000 shares traded. But this pre-market action looks garbage to me. I don't like it. Lower price stock. Select quote. Have we seen? I don't think I've seen this before. If I did, I don't remember for a reason. It just looks atrocious. John, anything on this that we might like?
Select quote. I feel like this is something I've heard on a commercial for a podcast or something. I don't know what they do, but yeah, they had earnings and they blew it out of the water. So reported earnings of 30 cents per share. The expectation was 9 cents. So a big gap there. And then a revenue of 481 million. Expectation is 421. Those are big beat numbers. So that's why you're getting the pop there.
Yeah. Those numbers are nice, and it could be interesting because I'm showing a flow of 135 million. So I'm not showing a low flow. We'll have to confirm that because usually when I see these low prices, I'm thinking low flow. But that could be interesting. We do have shares for sure. You know what? It might be a large flow because when you have 3 million shares for flow, that usually is a good sign, right? Usually low flow stocks don't have that many shares available for sure. So the flow could be correct. Might be interesting actually. Not sure. Maybe we'll put it on a secondary. We'll see. The next one, CLF, which is Cleveland Cliffs. We kind of spoke about yesterday a little bit, so we kind of know what's going on here. Here's the second day play. I didn't like it yesterday, and I'm probably not gonna like it today either. Again, that's just the volume on this one is very difficult for me to trace. So I'm gonna keep it off my list. John, question: Is this was in play yesterday? Is this something you even look at when you see a stock like this, or not even on your list?
Sometimes I prefer not to. I'm looking for the I don't know, the more typical BBT, Nvidia stocks, Tesla, AMD. Is what I prefer to trade. But if the day is slow and it's the only thing going, I'll check them out, but approach with caution.
Yeah.
It looks like, is that the chart from yesterday, Carlos?
The chart, yeah, yesterday actually did okay. Low volume.
That's my play there. Did a high day break. Looks like it made an okay move. So I mean, there's always potential.
Yep, there sure is. So again, not sure on this one, guys. Second day play. I don't suspect to get the same amount of volume we got yesterday. We got 63 million shares yesterday. Might not be all there today, but again, I'm going to keep it off for now. Let's see what we come up with. We can always add it on if we feel that we don't have a whole lot to watch this morning. But right now, let's keep it off for now. Let's look at KO this morning. They are up big, man. 3.6 today, 859,000 shares traded. So a big pop for them today. Yeah, well, what's going on with these guys? They barely move, but today seems to be their day.
It's earnings day. It's earnings season, and it's earnings day for Coca-Cola, or maybe it was yesterday. But in any case, they reported earnings of 55 cents per share. The expectation was 51 earnings, revenue, of 11.54 billion, expectation of 10.69. So a healthy beat for Coca-Cola. It always amazes me that Coke, I mean, I like Coca-Cola. I guess billions of people do, but they just keep on trucking, man. You can add more. I guess when they add more beverages to the market, they pretty much get sucked up by Coke or Pepsi eventually, anyway. So maybe things like who makes Prime, that hydration drink, like Jake Paul.
Oh, they're all over the place. Jake Paul and yeah.
I had my first Prime drink the other day. I was like, I was so thirsty. How
did you like it? I had one before. It was not bad.
It was like drinking a Jolly Ranchers. It was very flavorful, but I did feel better. But I was also drastically dehydrated, so anything was going to taste amazing. But it was
Did you get the one with the red, white, and blue?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's probably the worst one. It's too sweet. If you try the other ones, like the just regular, because like a Jolly Rancher or whatever, that's my least favorite. But the other ones are actually, when you're thirsty, man, it gets the job done. I had it a couple of times, and it was actually pretty impressive. Expensive as heck, though. $3, $3.09 at 7-Eleven. Like, come on, guys.
$3. Every drink is at least $3 now. I paid $2.89 for a cup of black coffee recently. The world is crazy.
The world is going nuts. All right. Oh my! Andrew's in chat. Andrew's like, was there Coke in it? It's so expensive. They might as well be a little dash of a little, white powder. My goodness. But Andrew is in Chile, so hello to Andrew. He's doing well. I know he's safe. He ran into a storm, an electrical storm or something.
I saw that. That was scary.
Man. That's wild. Yeah. I remember when me and him went camping. We went to it was me, him, Abio. We went to camping, climbing in Mexico, and we got stuck on some heavy rain and the thunderstorms, the lightning. They felt like they were like hitting the tent. That's how loud they were. Like I never heard lightning that loud. We barely slept that night, but yeah, we had an amazing time.
If you watch the video of Andrew and his friends, they're laughing, but they're also clearly
Concerned.
stunned. Yeah, like
Yeah,
they
concerned.
had a moment. They had a real moment, and that stuff is very
Yeah,
very
like
scary.
this
So
might
I'm
be it,
glad they.
guys. No, no, no.
Yeah.
All good. But yeah, guys, take a look at Instagram at bearbutchers.com. You can see Andrew and all his adventures happening there. All right, KO, I'm gonna add it to the list as a secondary. As far as day trading, they are not great, but today's their day. If they're gonna do something, today's the day to do it. These guys don't trade very well. Extremely light volume, but up 3.6 right now. I think today's their time to shine. Let's hope that we can get some action out of it. And friends, over at tradingterminal.com, that covers our gap up list. So we're pretty much set here. Not much to see in that area. John, before I move over to the gap down, is there anything you like on your end that might not be reflecting on this gap up list? Anything that's gapping up?
Oh man, everything's red, Carlos.
Yeah.
On my watch, so I've got a primary watch list of 12 stocks and a secondary of maybe another 25, and even a third list of things I don't touch too often. And the only things that are green are Roku, ROKU, and RGTI, and they are barely green. Roku's up 0.25%, and RGTI is up about 0.5%. So it's a rough day, man.
What's the deal with Roku and this pop here, man? Look at it yesterday. Opened up at 86.92, back down. I mean, this is some serious moves.
Pretty sure they had no, they have earnings on February 13th. So in a couple days. I don't know.
Yeah, that's some pretty good action. Again, I don't know how the price action was, but looking at this intraday chart from yesterday, this looks better than anything I had on deck. So very, very interesting here. Man, I'm gonna add Roku on a secondary. It doesn't have the volume right now, but that candle really looks
wild.
interesting.
Yeah, they ran it up for the daily breakout and ran it right back down by the end of the day.
And you're right on that daily level as well, which is, we'll call it 84.68. A lot of resistance there. I like this. Definitely wanna see how this plays out. So yeah, we'll put it on deck. Has no volume. Glad you mentioned it. Is this one of your usual suspects that you have on deck?
It's on my secondary. I can't remember the last time I traded Roku though. So there's a lot of stuff on my secondary list I haven't touched in a while. But man, you remember back in the day, Carlos, I talk about it like I'm some old geezer trader or something, but Roku was fun back in the day. I loved it back in, I guess it would have been back in 2021. Yeah.
2021 and 2020, maybe. Yeah. It was pretty good, man. It was one of our usual suspects. Has fallen off from that pedestal, of course. But yeah, man, we used to love trading this stock when it was in play more often than not. All right, so let's take a look here. Roku will be on my secondary. Going back to our gappers list here from Trading Terminal, we'll look at the top, some of the ones that are gapping down here. We got a couple. We'll start with FL and C. Majority of the tickers this morning gapping down. Wow, FL and C down 40%. Fluence Energy, they're going in the wrong direction here, so something's clearly wrong. 3.3 million shares traded right now. Energy stocks typically, as you can see here on the daily, very light volume. They don't really get that great volume on the daily, so it makes them difficult to trade. Today, though, these guys are at 3.3. That's basically their daily volume on a regular basis. I like the way this looks here. John, what's driving these guys mad this morning?
They had their earnings as well, and they have a lack of energy because they lost 32 cents per share, and the expectation was a loss of 17. So it's never great to be expecting a loss per share for your company, but it's even worse than they thought. And then, oh geez, look at revenue. Oh my gosh. So revenue came in at about 187 million. Expectation was 344.
Wow.
That's a big miss.
Yeah, someone's getting fired. It's no question. I just don't know. Yeah, that's big. I don't know how well this stock is going to trade. Again, the float on this bad boy is 104 million, so not a low float stock, lower price, but not low float. Let's come back to it. This is typically not a stock I add on my list. It is in play today, so if this fits your criteria, add it to your main list. I'm going to put it on my secondary just because, again, it's not something I typically will watch, and I just got to see how the market is at the open, how the volume comes in, and if it's something that's going to trade well for like a 5-minute ORB. Might be a great one maybe later in the day if the volume continues there. All right, next on the list is we're going to have VSAT. So VSAT. VSAT is via satellite, I'm assuming that's the name of the company is. not a great pre-market activity as you're seeing here. We are down 20% at the moment, but again, just not looking all that great. Daily also looks messy. John, what's causing this stuff to be on our list today?
I'm trying to figure that out. I don't see anything obvious, so I will lean on the community here if anyone knows what's going on with Viasat. This is
Oh, you know what I saw? T-Mobile is getting into what's the Elon Musk thing that Andrew's trying, everybody else is doing?
Starlink.
Starlink. I saw T-Mobile trying to get into providing Starlink at like $15 a month or something.
Yeah, they're going to offer
So
it for free to any carrier, no matter who your
yeah,
carrier is. They're going to offer you free Starlink connectivity through July or something like that. I think is what I read. It was on a Super Bowl commercial. So, look,
yeah,
anybody going up against Starlink, because Viasat is it's a commercial satellite internet company. You're toast. Like there's nothing is going to compare with the speed and the coverage of
yeah.
Starlink. So,
Just get
I
out the
sound like I'm
business.
yeah. And
Take
Andrew's
your
been
investors.
raving about it.
Yeah,
Andrew's. I
yeah.
don't know if you have any pictures of where Andrew's at that you could show during the pre-market show, but
We'll
he's in
bring
the
some
middle
up
of it.
later. They're on Instagram. So if he sends me
Yeah,
some, if he's able to Starlink it to us, maybe he can call
he's in
in.
the
Can he call in?
he's in that dry, the Atacama Desert, I think is how you say it. But it like never rains there. It's just crazy dry.
Yeah. Yeah, so man, T-Mobile and Starlink, that is pretty cool. That's the future right there. You're seeing it here. That's the future. There it is. They're getting ahead of it. I'm surprised Verizon didn't jump on this, but yeah, they're usually pretty good at getting in first. But yeah, Starlink is and T-Mobile doing their thing, so they got their beta is taking off. All right, so could be that if that's what these guys do. I don't know what they do. I'm not suggesting that's the case, but if it is, could be having some effects here. So. Nevertheless, I don't like it, man. It's not going to be on my list. We'll move on to the next one. ACHR, I believe this is Archer Aviation, and this is the drones, the taxi drones that people are looking to fly you from Manhattan to Newark in about 5 minutes, right? So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But here we are down 9.7, right? So that's not looking good this morning. And I'm sure recent events are not favorable to this type of company when policies come out. It's just what happened with that helicopter. Imagine more of these all over the place. It's just not a good idea, right? So again, that's my personal opinion, not what's causing this to drop, but I would think these guys saw that and they're having a hard time because it just pushes back when people are ready to actually see these things all over the place, flying through airports, right, with a lot of traffic. Yeah, I don't see that. John, any news on these guys? It looks like it's just started breaking out, so we might not have it yet, but we're
Is
getting
this a
some action
second day
here.
play, Carlos?
We had a good day yesterday, but I didn't even have it on my radar yesterday, so I'm not sure what drove them up yesterday, if anything. But this drop here looks aggressive, good volume, and it's not stopping. It's continuing to drop. So
I'm I'm
that's
clicking on an article that says why it soared yesterday, but it's one of these articles that just never gets to the point. It's
oh,
like
I
looking
hate
up a.
that.
Have you looked up a recipe on the internet lately, Carlos?
Yeah, it's like
Like
15 pages for 3 steps.
right,
Yeah.
they bury it. They bury the actual recipe like so deep. That's what this article looks like. I can't even
Yeah.
make sense of it. There's pop-up ads everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will
Something's
say for all the
definitely.
aviation companies that ever came up during the watch list, I don't think I've ever traded one.
Oh, you have not traded
Besides,
one.
besides Boeing, yeah, the big boy.
Yeah, yeah, Boeing's it's a good one. I'm gonna put this on my secondary just so I remember to come back and look at how this is going to develop in the next couple of minutes. We are getting we're about to lose the daily level on this thing. It is just highway to hell right now. So, yeah, we'll put it on here. We'll look at Bensing and any other channel, see if we can get wow. Do they have earnings? Is this an earnings play?
Let
Let's
me
check
check on
that.
that.
Yeah, I'll keep going to the next one here while we get that info. Here is XBEV. XBEV is down 7%, 826,000 shares traded. XBEV can trade very well. It has let us down quite a bit in the last couple of days. I mean, you're getting this small gap up. Like the moves, although we're trending higher, it's kind of like what some of these overseas tickers companies tend to do, right? They tend to do the move on the off hours during the market pre-market hours or after hours, and they gap up, and then we get a little bit of action in our intraday, right? So that's why you're seeing this nice move of very small daily candles. Here we got some good action. You can see beautiful daily candles, right? And what I mean beautiful is that you actually have a candle that's moving, not this little thing here that doesn't give you probably no opportunity, probably chopping all day. Got a good stretch here, and then from there, the last couple of days we've been pretty good. So I like this gap down here today, down 7%. I think I'm gonna add this to the list. I like the way the setup on the daily is looking here, and we got some decent volume, so we'll add it to my main list. We can always take it off if we find something that's better. John, anything on Archer Aviation as far as earnings?
Now, the earnings are February 24th, so I'm still looking for
Okay.
that. Matt
Okay.
posted something in the chat about them raising money for vertical takeoff, electric vertical takeoff landing vehicle for the defense industry, but that's not necessarily bearish news, so we'll keep poking at this one. What were we just looking at? XPEV. So XPEV's down a little bit on news that BYD is moving to offer free smart driving features in almost all its models. So they are following Tesla, and they're trying to get into some self-driving software and capabilities in their cars. And I watched a video on that yesterday. They're not quite at Tesla's level, not even close really, but they're trying, and they'll probably get there. So that's interesting because at the moment there's not a real great competitor for Tesla's FSD, but BYD's trying to make it happen.
Yeah. We'll add to. I like the way it looks today. I like the daily on in this drop here. So hopefully that can create some good momentum for us here this morning. All right, let's stop here. We went over the top 5 or 4, so we'll hop around a little bit. I know SMC. Oh wait, SMCI is next. We got to look at that one, and which allows me to remind you today we're doing the live stream for earnings at 3:30. Myself, John. No, I'm sorry, not John. You're gonna be there covering for Peter. Who's
I'm
covering
always
for
there,
Peter?
but probably be Jared on the mic.
Oh no, Mike. Yes, Mike covering for Peter. Peter's off today, so it's Mike covering for Peter. We have Jared and we have Brian and myself will be there. So it'll be a lot of fun as we cover SMCI. There's some other ones as well that we'll be looking at, but this is the one I'm most interested in because I want to see how they report. With that, the last couple of days, look how great they've been trading, including yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful pop yesterday. Today already 7.6 million shares traded. This will be on my list for a second day play leading up to earnings. This will be in play, I'm assuming today, and I'm expecting tomorrow as well. So, so we'll have it on here looking very, very nice this morning. All right, let's take a look at, let's hop around a little bit. I see Baba on here. So Baba this morning, we're down 3%. 1.1 million shares traded on the daily. They've been doing pretty well, but I have not been able to catch any great trades on this yet. So I have been watching it, not every day, but most of these days it's been on my list. Haven't seen anything great. Today could be their day though. They're kind of showing a little bit of weakness here. I'll add them to my secondary. I know a lot of stuff on the secondary, guys, but we'll fine tune it. We'll fine tune it and come out with a great list off that. And then I want to bounce to Rocket Lab. You guys saw Rocket Lab yesterday. It was hitting the trading terminal scanners, and this thing was just took off, right? Horrible daily, by the way. If you look at this daily, it looks pretty bad. But we're watching the trading terminal scanners, and it just kept hitting the turbo breakup, just continuing to break higher and higher. And it had a really interesting day. So as far as today, some volume. I don't think it's heavily in play, but we'll be looking at the scanners. If this hits again, it's one to definitely take a look at. All right, John, we'll stop here. Anything you like as far as gapping down this morning? You did mention that a lot of the stuff on your list that you like is on the gap down today.
Let me see if anything's standing out. You mentioned Baba. The first thing I hear, if you tell me Baba's gapped up or down a lot, I look at the other Chinese sector stocks, and they seem to be moving a bit more than other stuff, which isn't uncommon. But Baba, you said, is down like 3%-ish.
Yep.
JD is down almost 4%, 3.7. PDD is down 2.6. Baidu's down 2.9. So there is more gapping down going on in those Chinese stocks for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a massacre of a day. I'll be looking at Tesla, maybe stupidly for a bit, maybe a bounce on that. That's been driven down a hell of a lot lately.
Yeah, man.
And I think SMCI coming in to earnings. We'll see if that. It's kind of interesting when stocks have earnings in the afternoon. Sometimes it makes them in play, and other times it just makes them do nothing all day as everyone just waits for the answer. But that could be interesting too. So, yeah, Tesla, SMCI, anything else, everything just kind of seems down with the market here.
Yeah, I do like Tesla as well. This daily again just been getting hammered a bit here. We hit the high of 488, and then since then we just been having a really tough time. But this stock, man, you know how explosive this stock can be. Have you seen? Speaking of Tesla, how are we on time? We got a little bit of time. Have you seen the stickers people are putting on their cars now? This is funny.
Are the stickers people are putting on, or other people are putting on Teslas? I've seen a little bit of both.
Owners are putting it on their actual cars. Let me see if I can bring this up.
Is it the F funny. Elon sticker or something like that?
No, it's the one that says, where is this? Let's see if I can share this here. It's one that says, I got to do it over here. That says, I bought this before Elon went crazy or something. I'm not sure if you've seen that. It's pretty funny.
I have seen those, yeah.
Yeah, and someone sent me this. Let's see here. But the funny thing is, if Tesla had that issue where people were just scratching their cars. Remember that in California? They were just mad. Like, why are you so mad? I don't.
I tell you, I own a Tesla, Carlos, and if somebody does that, I'm gonna lose my mind. I have a rule in life. I don't put anything on my car that conjures up an opinion in somebody else. Besides buying a Tesla, which conjures up opinions in other people. But I'm not sticking any messages on my car. I'm not inviting road rage or people keying my car or something. Yeah, so
I don't understand the stickers on cars. Yes, your kid's an honor student, great. Why do you want the world to know? I don't understand that. Yes, he plays soccer, baseball, and basketball. I care, cuz. But here it is. This is the one that says, I bought this before Elon went crazy. So this is all over the place now. It's just insane, but it's pretty funny when it comes to Tesla. But yeah, man, I'm a no stickers kind of guy as well. But again, I'm not mad if you have a sticker. I read them. They're fun, but I'm just not going to have it in my car. All right. That's it, guys. That's all we have. We have XPET, we have SMCI, we have Tesla on deck as well, which should be a lot of fun. And again, as far as the gap down goes, we pretty much cover off the trading terminals gap list. Not a whole lot that I see on here. Some more coming up here. I see Snap trying to make its way in here on the list. Again, just this stock is just so bad, so I usually just stay away from it. But yeah, not really something I want to see. All right, let's go to you guys. Let's see what you guys like this morning. We'll start in our chat here. Let's take a look over in our members chat and what we have going on for today. So we're looking at car. Let's see, CAR. Oh no, you're talking about cars. Actually, we were just talking about, or maybe you are talking about cars because they have a very weird candle here, dropping a couple of bucks. But just no volume, 76 shares traded, so this is really not in play. Shopify, see you got a couple of you guys throwing that one out. Let's take a look at Shopify.
Carlos, look at Baba.
Oh, pull Baba.
Can you pull a live Baba up?
Oh, okay.
What's that about?
What is going on?
Actually, is it everything? Because I'm just had Baba on my screen. Oh yeah, we're getting a pop in Apple too. Check out Apple.
Spy's not moving. What's going on? Apple and Baba getting together here? Something happened that we don't know about?
What's that about? What's going on?
It is 9 o'clock, but there's no news coming out right now, right? Let's check the U.S. economic calendar. Do we have anything coming out at 9? No, we have Cleveland Fed speaker at 8:50, but unless he says something off the wall, people don't really care much. 10 o'clock, guys. If you just joined us, 10 o'clock, Jerome Powell is testifying. That should be a lot of fun depending how he answers things. But we clearly have something going on here. If we look at, as you mentioned, we look at Apple taking off. We look at Baba getting green. I wonder if any other Chinese tickers are moving. No, it's just Baba. If you look at JD and PDD, they're not joining the party. So Baba and Apple, wow, what is going on with Apple? Let's take a look. Well, we'll get the information. It's just happening now, so we'll see what is driving these guys insane this morning. It's looking pretty nice. I'm going to add them obviously to my list. So we'll put Apple on the primary, and I'm also going to move Baba up because Baba is also interesting with just 2 million shares traded out of nowhere here, getting a nice pop as well. So those two on fire. We'll get the information on what's happening on them as well. All right, and is any other stock affected by this? Meta, no. It's very focused action right now on these two. So, all right.
Shopify's up. Well, no, they were up. Well, they're into the
Yeah.
green now. They're now up 3.3%. And I don't. When you asked me what was green before, I don't think I mentioned Shopify. So that must have been a red to green move for them as well. But not. It doesn't look like Apple or Baba.
Yeah, it looks like a red to green move, and they have earnings. I believe their earnings are set up here for this morning. It looks like our earnings
Oh,
play
that.
right at 7, right?
Let me see here. Shopify. Yeah, they did have earnings this morning. Let me pull that up real quick and see what
Yep.
their result was.
As you pull that up, I'm just gonna
So
check on. Oh, you got it. Go.
yeah, it looks like they actually missed a little bit. Earnings of 42 cents per share, expectation of 43, and the revenue beat. So 2.8 billion versus 2.7 billion expected. So a little hit and miss kind of for
Mm-hmm.
Shopify, but it's doing well.
Yeah, I think it's again, this stock is very risky and it can be all over the place. So, no, I mean, look at the low. The low today is 105. We're already back at 123. We're basically back where we started the pre-market before this initial drop. So it can be wild, and it can trade like that at the market open and saw even more volume. I'm gonna put in a second there because I would like to watch it. How tradable is it going to be as far as my strategy? We'll have to wait and see, but clearly in play, up 3% now after being down quite a bit. 3.2 million shares traded at the moment. So back to Baba. Back to Baba's 2.3 million shares traded right now. Apple is also continuing. Is Baba
We got the
buying
news,
all the?
Carlos.
Oh, you got it. Give it to us.
Yeah, it's coming in on the chat here as well. But so Apple partners with Alibaba to develop AI features for iPhone users in China.
Wow. Is that a done deal? Uh, I wonder what the government has to say about that.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Carlos.
What's? Yeah, wait till Trump hears this.
Yeah.
All right, this is good. This is good. That's great news. I was gonna say that maybe Bob was buying all the unsold Apple phones in the U.S. and selling them in China, but that's really great news. This is just as good. So, all right, excellent, friends. Both on the list today, clearly in play. I'm glad the news came out before the market opens, so then we can trade these when the bell rings and we get all that volume. They'll be on my list here, and I love Baba, man. I think Baba, for me, my favorite Chinese ticker, and this is probably bigger news for these guys, partnering with such a giant like Apple. So this will be a lot of fun. All right, let's stop here. Let's get to our community events and announcement today on this beautiful, stormy, possibly Tuesday. Me and you are getting slammed, John, I think, with a couple of inches later today. Are you getting any storm warnings this afternoon, this evening?
I think Wednesday night more snow, and then
Oh,
Saturday it keeps coming in 3, 4, 5 inch dumps, and it's so annoying. I've cleared my driveway so many times.
mm,
Just give me 14 inches of snow all at once, and let's just be done with
one
this.
time. One time. Yeah, I get you, man. Friends, you can always head over to bearbootraders.com, bearbootraders.com. You click on this webinars tab right over here, and you'll be able to see what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. So everything is listed on here. Today's Tuesday, so we're just going to focus on what's happening today, and we'll let you guys hear that from John.
All right, Tuesday. So we got Thor tonight doing our 8 o'clock webinar. He's going to be talking building your R3 to S3 traverse trade book. So that's bread and butter Thor stuff, and very popular trader in the community. So definitely check that out. Those, if you don't know, R3 S3 refers to these things called Camarilla pivot points, pivot levels, and very popular indicator here in the community. And then next week, we have Eamon doing your blueprint for breakout success. I want to check that one out because I love breakouts. And Eamon's a great breakout trader. Trades them differently than I do, but there's definitely some commonality there. And I love to see what he has to say about stocks that are breaking out. And then what is this trade book webinar? Oh, yes, right. So Phil's going to be doing small account options trade book webinar Tuesdays at 11. And then the Bookmap webinar as well. We have at noon with Nathan, trading with Bookmap. So Bookmap, again, very popular in the community. People are really using it more and more. It's a different way to visualize the order book, and Nathan is our subject matter expert in that, and he can take you through the ins and outs of Bookmap at noon if you have access to the webinar room. All of that, I should say, for elite members only, so you need that level of membership to check this stuff out. All right, so if you want to get that elite membership, we got a pretty good deal going on right now. Elite annual, only $1,099. It gives you access to the live onboarding session, day trading options courses, the chat room, all the advanced courses we just mentioned, weekly mentorship, and so forth. So definitely the best way to join Bear Bull Traders. Get access to everything, and get access to the webinar room where so much good stuff happens. You can also do that on a monthly basis for $199 a month. And if you're not quite ready to go there, we do have the intro option, 1 week of access for $39. Come check us out, especially check out the chat room. If you got time, when you got a week to spend, you got some free time, spend that $39. Come join us in the chat room. You'll learn a ton in the chat room. Open all day with tons of good advice. And then you can also do similar access on a basic membership for $99 a month.
Yep, absolutely, friends. All right, thank you, John, for that. Let's get over to doing some levels and just getting set up for the day here. Again, got pretty exciting from a quiet gappers list to just thing flying off the shelf here on a couple of tickers. So on my list, we got XBEF, which again down this morning about 6.4, should be interesting. SMCI for second day play had a great day yesterday. We have Tesla, which just continuing to push lower here, making a new low. And we got Apple and Baba doing some big things here this morning. So those are going to be two of my favorites to watch today. So let's start with XBEF. Let's get some levels in here. Low of the pre-market on XBEF is going to be 15.39. So we'll slam one there. And then towards the top, we're going to have right up here, it's going to be 15.99. Is the high of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, if you look at the daily here, we have a great level of 1488, so we'll slam one there. And then below that, we have a nice one at 1444. Towards the top, you do have the highs and lows of the last two trading days. You're pretty much covered when it comes up here, and you also have the previous day close. So yeah, so looking pretty good there. SMCI as well, again for a second day play here, looking pretty nice. Low of the pre-market this morning is down at 39.26. And the high of the pre-market just slightly below the low of the pre-market at 39.29. And once you do that, guys, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days, especially towards the bottom. You got plenty of levels. I don't think you need to add anything else. Now, towards the top, there are some areas we can add a little bit more. Right here at 43.91. Excuse me, 43.91 is a good one here. If I can put a level, yeah, 44 you could call it. And then you have another one up here also at 46. Excuse me, gotta clear my throat here. 46.05 towards the top. So there it is, friends. SMCI looking pretty nice this morning. And the next one on deck is going to be Tesla, as I mentioned, making a new low here. Low of the pre-market now just being created. 346.40. So this thing just keeps on going in the wrong direction. Highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a pretty good job there. So that's got you covered. Also, the previous day closes up there as well. We're going to head over to the left. We haven't been down here, right? We've been losing a lot of ground. We haven't been here since last year. Last year, December looks like. And November, we have a couple of areas in here. So we're going to zoom into here and get some levels. Great daily level at a 339.67 in that area. And then we also have a level over at 329.62. So that looks pretty good there as well. And yeah, let's, Apple and Baba, this makes sense. People knew about this, man. I always say this conspiracy theory, man. I'm throw it out there. What is this crap here with Baba? Look at this. You telling me that these guys buying this stuff up, they didn't know this was coming? Man, they forgot to share the news. I don't care what nobody says. They forgot to share the news. They forgot to put me and you on the memo, and we lost out on almost $30, $40 move here in the last couple of days. Unbelievable. So, Okay. That's my small, tiny rant for the day. All right, here it is. Let's take a look at Ababa since we have it up already. High of the pre-market, 115, right? So 115 is the new pop that we're getting here. This thing is on fire. Tons of volume. People are saying true. It is true. Like, there's no way you start moving like this out of nowhere when you've been trading. Look at how horrible this thing has been trading. I mean, this is garbage, pure garbage. And we haven't been trading Baba. And now it's like, oh, Baba's waking up. My behind. People knew what's going on here. Look at the volume. Everybody's jumping in. And then a Chinese ticker on top of that. You think they're going to keep it quiet? Yeah, okay. All right. But yeah, that's what it is. And towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. This is going to be very explosive. Has moved a lot in the last couple of days. So let's see how much juice they have left. If they left anything for the actual news that just came out, which is a big one for the rest of us. 109.98 is a great level here on the daily, just below the previous day close. You do want to have that down there. And then you also have a great level at 117.78. So again, Baba in play here doing some stuff. And then also Apple this morning. Again, not as big as news as for them as it is for Baba, right? Baba's the big winner here. But, you know, we'll see. Apple has not been doing all that hot. If you look at their daily, they've been struggling here, getting into some chop, hopping up and down. I want this news to be good for them, but it won't surprise me if this is all they get. Like, it's just, I don't know. Everything Apple has been thrown out lately has just not been sticking as well as they would like. So we'll see if this can make a change. 231.48 high of the pre-market. 226.06 is the low of the pre-market. And then we also have 224.26 towards the bottom there. So there it is. That is Apple. Some really great stocks for us today. On the secondary list, we got a couple on there. Just flying through them. Again, they all don't look great, but they're good possibles that can get going later in the day. John, as we've been going through this, is there anything that on your side that has kind of popped into your radar that you might like this morning?
Well, Apple and Baba, I guess.
Yeah.
not to make things too obvious, but yeah, I just posted my picks to the chat room, so I'm adding Apple and Baba to Tesla and SMCI.
Gotcha. And speaking of the chat room, guys, let's go there and take you through what our team is watching this morning, including John's list. So we'll go through that now. So I'll bring it up in a second here in the chat room. And yeah, let's see what our team is watching on this exciting day.
All right, yeah, let's check it out. So we've got Thor looking at Apple, Baba, same. Microsoft, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Again, myself, Apple, Baba, Tesla, and SMCI. Brendan, SMCI, NVIDIA, PLTR. That could be a good one as well. Had a pretty fun day yesterday. And also Apple for Brendan. Phil, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. And Megan, Apple. And the only one looking at Shopify for now, Amazon and NVIDIA. Amazon could also be good as well. They were trying to show some strength yesterday. Oh, and here's Pierre coming in at the end here. Tesla, NVIDIA, SMCI, and Apple. So a lot of common stocks between us. But what stands out, or what is unique, I guess, is that Shopify for Megan, that PLTR for Brendan. So maybe check those out. Those could be the sweet ones. Carlos, I think you're on mute, buddy.
I am on mute. Yeah, talking to myself here like a crazy man. But yeah, I actually saying that I like Shopify. Now that I think about it more, if I look at against XBEF, I think Shopify has a better shot of trading nicer than XBEF. So I'm gonna move Shopify up on my list. We'll make the change here as well for you guys, and we'll keep an eye on that one. Friends, today trading live, we have Brian and Thor coming up next. They're going to be taking you through the market open. So as soon as they join, we'll switch over to them. And then we have also Avi's off today. We'll have Eamon doing some live trading here on YouTube as well. So looking forward to having those guys with us today as we get through this day. So a lot going on today, busy day. Let's remind you guys of some of the stuff that's happening today, John, as far as the U.S. economic calendar.
Yeah, getting back to this, so we did see that NFIB index come in a little low, but still historically high. 850 will be the first event, so that's the Cleveland Fed Chair Hammock. Never heard of that guy. I don't think they let the Cleveland Fed guy out much, but he's out today at 850. So, it's already 9:15. What do I think? He's already
That's
been
how that's
talking.
how
All right.
non-noticeable he was.
Yeah. And
Nobody
John doesn't know
cares.
how to tell time. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I don't think he's doing much. Uh, and then poor Cleveland. We love it. And then yeah, Jerome at 10 o'clock. I think that could be good. I think it could get more spicy than you think, Carlos. I'm hoping. And maybe he
No,
throws a hot cup of
I,
coffee or something.
I think the questions are gonna get under his nerve because you know how it is. It's like 20 of them, right? And they're all asking the same exact question in different ways. So eventually that gets to you. So you're right. He could lose his cool, but I'm betting my money he's gonna stay cool here, man. He's done it for so
They're
long.
gonna
But
they're
we'll
gonna
see.
want him to say something
Oh yeah,
bad
against
about
Trump
Trump
or yeah,
or Elon. Yeah, they're gonna try to
a
get
hundred
that out of
percent.
him. So it'll be interesting to watch. Yeah. So that's the
It'll
big
be
one. Yeah,
fun.
10 o'clock, and then we had some
Yeah.
other Fed speakers throughout the day, right?
Yeah, that's really the big one. The other ones I don't think are going to have much effect on the market. You got the New York guy, so we'll see if anything happens there. But again, that'll be at 3:30. So there'll be other things going on as well, which us live. We'll be live here at 3:30 for YouTube to get ready for some earnings. One of the big ones being SMCI. So again, looking forward to these guys. These guys have been trading really, really good. So can't wait to see what they come out. Well, I won't trade earnings. I usually don't trade earnings after hours anyway. But on the following day, tomorrow we'll definitely have some good action on it. All right, we are all set here. So as soon as Brian and Andrew, sorry, not Andrew, Brian and Thor come on, we will hop over to those guys. Let me check the overall SPY here, see how we're doing. We are down slightly this morning. Again, just barely a 0.5% right now. So not much change. There's very little change at the moment. Looking at our explosive stock, Apple, holding here. So we did get a nice pop, almost 1%, above 1%. We're holding just shy of 1% right now after the pullback. And then Bob is the big winner here, man. They're up 2%, 4.4 million shares traded. I think here's where we're going to have the leftovers, right? We're going to have the leftovers from the people that were in already a couple of days ago. Should still be a lot of fun here. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, SMCI should be interesting, Carlos. We had a lot of questions in the chat room, it seemed like yesterday, about SMCI and how well would they do, and is it a good stock to hold? And it makes me wonder if perhaps we have some astronauts stranded up in the $100 range on SMCI. Some people might have taken that for a ride,
Yeah,
and are
yeah.
hoping to get rescued. So I know the feeling. That'll be interesting. That's a tough company to read with all their financial troubles and mysteries.
While we wait for these gentlemen to hop on, did those guys get rescued? The guys from the international station, did they get brought back down to Earth, or are they still stuck?
March, I think their ride.
Oh,
is
it's
due.
March. Okay, okay. Man,
Yeah.
can you imagine that, packing for a week, staying for a year?
It's crazy.
That is wild, man. My wife would not be happy. I'll be divorced by the time I get down. It's just the way it is. That's not gonna work. But yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah, you know that feeling when you end up at a friend's house and you didn't expect to stay, but you do, and you're like, I don't have my toothbrush, or or change of clothes for tomorrow. Multiply that by 1,000,000. That's what it feels like to be on the space station with your week's worth of stuff and then find out
That is
I
just
have
brutal.
nothing. Yeah, it's
That is
rough,
brutal.
man. It's hard to get them
Food.
down because they only have so many
Yeah.
docking stations, and there's a schedule of the astronauts they want to run through there, and it's a tough calculus when you get 2 extra people up there unexpectedly.
Yeah, yeah. Jim says it's okay. He has a woman with him. No, he's gay actually, so he's screwed. I'm kidding. I have no idea what he is. It doesn't matter. But no, I'm sure. Even if you're stuck with somebody you like, after a couple of days of that, months, weeks, nah, man, it gets old. It gets old pretty quick. You start going crazy. I don't think the mind is not allowed to be stuck in a confined space like that. Nah, man, that's madness. Madness.
One of my
All
best
right.
friends' college roommate was stuck on the space station. He was the last guy
Oh,
that got stuck there. I forget his
no
name.
way.
Yeah, he's a West Point grad. Oh, geez. I could Google it and try to figure it out. But yeah, his buddy went up there, supposed to spend so much time. Got stuck, stayed longer than he thought he was going to. Oh, I think it was because there was a problem with the Soyuz capsule that was going to take him home or something like that. Oh, yeah. You remember it like leaked gas or something? Maybe you don't know this. But
No,
anyway,
no,
he
no.
got
I
stuck.
remember the gas. I remember the gas leak. I didn't know you knew the guy. I remember the last guy got stuck
I
because
know
of
him through a
gas leak.
friend. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm name dropping.
Your
He's
name
one of
dropping.
my best friends. Yeah. But, yeah,
Sounds
happened to him
great,
too.
man. That's awesome.
I
So yeah,
think he
good
ended
luck
up
to those
setting a
guys.
record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I see. Good morning, guys. Brian and Thor. Thor, I can't hear you. Do my check real quick.
Um,
I got you now. I got you. It was
you got
my
me
end.
now?
Sorry about that. Yep, I got you.
Praise the
Good
Lord.
morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, how's it going? Man, I didn't know John was so like hooked in with all these like crazy people. Actually, I got a text from Elon Musk a second ago, and he was like, "Tell John to stop talking about all of our secrets and space thing." Anyway,
I actually have another friend who
Oh,
knows an
John.
astronaut, and she got promoted. When she got promoted to colonel in the Army, they piped in this guy from the space station, and he had colonel rank up there in space somehow. And he was like, kind of presenting it to her from the space. I don't have any astronaut friends. I have friends
Yeah.
who have astronaut friends,
Well,
but I
you
just
went to West Point, so most likely all these guys come out of there, right? The majority, you would think, come out of that program. Is that what it is, or
yeah, I
or
didn't go there to be clear, but a lot of my friends did. But yeah,
okay?
they end up with a lot of them end up with interesting jobs. I think it's kind of weird. I know two people that both know an astronaut, but I
Yeah,
just know you
yeah.
guys. You guys are all I got. So
hey,
There
but I
you
know
go.
you, John, and so since I know you, I now know a guy who knows a guy who's an
you know
astronaut.
a guy who knows a guy who knows an
That
astronaut. Yeah,
that
that's right.
connection is too far, though. We can't use that. That connection is too far.
I'm using it right
All
now.
right,
I'm posting
guys.
on my Twitter.
I am going to. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna let you guys. We're gonna let you guys hang out with Brian and Thor, taking you through the market open. It's gonna be exciting, guys. A lot going on today. I'll see you back again at 11. Yeah, have fun. Trade safe.
See you guys.
I'm sure we're going to have fun. There's no question we're going to have fun.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen,
So,
and hopefully we'll make some money in the progress. So so we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see how we
exactly.
do. I ended up making money right after I signed off. I Q's went short right after I signed out, Brian, and ended up getting my. I was like, man, could this not have happened like 5, 10 minutes earlier? So, but anyway, just so you know, I did manage to
Sweet.
eat lunch yesterday, so that's good.
Nice. You got some bacon,
We got a little, yeah,
bacon
not
for the
expensive,
family.
not expensive lunch. It was a red lob, not a. It was more of a red lobster day than
Okay. Okay.
like a fancy lobster. No. So
Like
what do
to
you think about this Apple Baba deal, man? That's pretty wild.
Pretty interesting. Yeah. Apple popped up on it. Now it's kind of pulling back. Um, yeah. So I was short Tesla going into this morning. I shorted it after the close. So I've covered it now, so I'm already up on the day.
You and
A
me,
bit
man,
of
we
an
were had the same
overnighter.
kind of thoughts. I was thinking because of the tariff deal that the market was going to be down today, so I shorted NQ at the end of
Yeah.
yesterday and swung some NQ and ES across the after hours. I covered those at S3 this morning, kind of
Oh,
like the same
nice.
thing with your Tesla.
Awesome.
So yeah, I kind of figured
Awesome.
with the whole tariff situation, the market wasn't going to be super stoked about it, so it worked
No.
out. And thankfully, on
So
my I actually when I
yeah.
trade futures as well, I can actually run a stop after hours too, so I can still sleep.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, I can't I once it's dead, it's dead. I actually did try to cover yesterday at 347.50 and it got to 347.61. That's where it went out. So I missed covering last night in the after hours.
So the real
But that
question is,
actually moved
Brian,
there. Yeah.
now that the market doesn't seem to care about the Fed anymore.
Yeah.
We had a Fed speaking this morning, a Hammock speech that spoke this morning. Nobody cared. And now, but we've got Powell talking at 10 a.m. Right? That's normally our big. He's Elvis. You know what I mean, for the market. He's normally who we focus on, but is anyone going to focus on that today? It'd be really interesting. I think today will really be kind of a real bellwether for what we can expect
Yeah.
from the market
Well, the
on
other,
how it responds to Powell talking, because normally whole days and weeks and months have been turned on this guy's.
yeah, usually the first day is the interesting one, but tomorrow could be interesting too, because before the market open tomorrow, we are going to get CPI. And so it'll be, that might provide more fodder for discussion on Thursday as well. Or, yeah, on Wednesday, I should say, after that number's released. Is Tesla a rising devil? I would say, well, it's gapping down. It's not really gapping down on news. I like to see something gapping down on news. This has just been in a steady downtrend. It is trading below the VWAP. I would expect Tesla to pop up a bit, just like it did yesterday, and then maybe sell off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Tesla. But it's not, strictly speaking, I wouldn't call it a rising devil. I usually like to see something trading on earnings. But this is just, Tesla's just week day after day. Look at it. It's into the 345s. So Nvidia might be interesting. It's kind of catching a bit of a bid.
Yeah, I think I'm
Kind
gonna
of
keep an eye on Apple. So one thing I know, ooh, yeah, come on now, get back down here where we can have some fun.
ooh,
But I kind of like how we've been at this big monthly S3 big buying area for Apple today. I think this Baba Apple news has some weight to it. I'm gonna see what this one does today for sure.
yeah, Apple just dropped hard.
And
Well,
then yeah, we can keep an eye on Nvidia and like Tesla and a couple of these other ones that might have some fun today. Tesla actually, with how with where it is, I might see if it keeps selling hard, it might actually be a bottom candidate in like 15 minutes or a half hour or something like that. So if we start to sell, maybe we could look at Tesla for a bottom later. Kind of do the old Tesla special you talk about.
yeah, there's a big order at 344 or 344 sort of, well, actually no, more like 345. There's another big order at 340. Remember, these large institutions put orders where they think the market's going. So um, the book is pretty bearish right now on Tesla. We do have a few orders to the upside, 350, but they're not as big as the ones to the downside. So let's see. Tesla and everything is going to be a little bit volatile at the open. So again, we'll just wait for something to move. Nvidia is still looking like they're still catching a bit of a bid here. Spying cues, catching a bit of a bid.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. Yes, I can. Sorry, I thought I did. We have quite a few tech tickers that look like they're kind of winding up a bit here at the open.
Yeah,
The
Amazon's popping
market
a bit. I don't
tech's
put a
been
lot of.
pretty like
Here we go.
ding ding.
Ding ding.
Ding ding
See
ding.
what Tesla does. Now I'm just wishing I had still had some of my Tesla short here. Would expect a bit of a bounce here, maybe. There's the bounce.
Launched.
Amazon's popping up. Amazon's looking like it's going to go green here.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching right now. Amazon's right near a buying level that I like, and the order book does look relatively bullish. ATR is just above R4, so it definitely has the range if it decides to go.
No trades, just hanging.
I need this thing to come back
Yeah,
here.
just hanging. Okay, I'm short Tesla. A little pop. Let's see if we get more of a drop here.
I didn't get a pullback. I was hoping Amazon was going to give me a pullback. I'm still going to hang out. I made it all the way to PDC now, so it didn't give me a good setup there.
Okay, I'm going to cover it here because I think this is an area where it's going to bounce. Yeah, look at that. Exactly. I knew it. I knew it. Here we go. There's the rip. That was nice. I just actually flipped my position on that. Went from short to long off
Really
right
nice,
off
bud.
that S3 level.
That was baller. Good work.
Yeah, and again, you don't see it on Bookmap, so you kind of have to use your double vision here. But I'm looking at Bookmap, but I was looking at the chart on Tesla, and this S3 level was exactly where this pivot level was exactly where we bounced yesterday, and we came right down to it, and that's where I covered. And as expected, we got a big bounce there. So right now I'm flat on it on Tesla. So I covered back at the VWAP there. Amazon's gone green. What do you know? Tesla looks a little bullish here. I'm not going to take
I'm
long on
watching
it because it's kind of in no man's land.
I'm watching
Oh, there go the
Apple
Qs.
actually.
The SPY and Qs are bouncing.
I'm watching Apple here as it's kind of wicking up into R6, kind of taking a look at how it's getting hit by a seller here under 231. I want to see if it manages to buy the
Yeah,
seller or
so
not.
for our people who like to trade low floats, DOMH is kicking it. Yeah, there goes Tesla tights. And I kind of felt like Tesla was going to be a bit of a long, but like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have an edge now
No,
on it.
it's
I don't know
buying. There it goes.
where it's going. Wow, shop's taking off too here.
I wish
Qs
I'd
and the SPY
been
are
able to.
ripping.
Yeah, I didn't get a good pullback on Apple at R4. I'm just kind of waiting. I haven't quite gotten my timing yet on one of these, so I'm just kind of being patient. Want to make sure I want to give everything a chance to get for my particular trading style. And a lot of y'all out there in YouTube, one of the things you'll find that's really kind of difficult is actually just kind of finding a trading system or style that just works for you. And a lot of your like heroes in trading will inevitably kind of have a different style than you, which is really, really difficult at times. But you have to realize that
Yeah.
we just kind of have different upbringings and personalities and different attachments to money and stuff like that. So for me, it's much easier for me just to kind of sit back, although it's a little bit boring trading. Like, because I know a lot of you who get in here in the open, you want to hear lots of hits and good opportunities to hit different tickers and stuff. But unfortunately, that doesn't fit my style at all. I just lose money when I try and do that.
Yeah. It does. It does kind of fit more my style. I do see opportunities and I take them quickly at the open. So now we kind of got to sit and wait and see what's going to happen here. I'm watching the SPY and the Qs. Wow, Qs are still going. I don't want to, I'm not really keen on chasing it up here, unfortunately.
Nvidia came right off of S3 as well. Looks strong.
Yeah.
It's going to offer to the premium here. Let's see if they hold it. If they do, we're going to start buying. Order book's really bullish. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Still trying to decide where the market's going here. Yeah. Sky's pulling back now. Nvidia's going.
Yeah, I'm long some Nvidia. I just got in like a couple candles ago, so I don't know.
Good.
Where it came
Awesome.
off the buying range, the market looked pretty strong. The order book looked pretty bullish, so I'm not going to be too married to this position, but I like it.
Looked like 135 is kind of where we went out yesterday. Or not yesterday, that was yesterday's high, excuse me.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to watch to see if we get a big seller.
Yeah.
At
Big order on
if we
Tesla
get
at
hit by a big
350
seller
here.
here at PDC, I'll probably cut and see if I can get a better entry. But it looked like it was ready to transition, so I wanted to get into it. There we go. We just bought PDC and then bought premium. We just need this candle to engulf. You can see here the order book's just really bullish right now. So bidder at 133. So if it starts to sell, it'll probably come back down to 133. What does it mean to say bought premium? Look at my screen real quick, Matt. So real quick, I know we're doing a lot of light trading here, but just real quick so you can see it. So your opening candle, right, basically creates every single candle creates a representation of premium, discount, and value, right? So when I look at candles, I don't actually look at high, low, and close. I actually look at premium, discount, and value, and that's how I read candles, right? And then I apply volume to that using, VPA, right? And then I apply volume to it so I can see kind of what happens when we do these different levels. So for instance, at the open, we establish premium, discount, and value, right? So what happens when we offer premium on the second candle? We sold. Well, we did, but the volume dropped a lot, right? So they allowed them to sell through here, but it didn't take a lot of volume. And then someone started buying at discount, right? So they're buying at discount, and then they started buying value, and then now they're buying premium, right? And now every new candle as they move up, what you want to watch is what happens when we buy premium. If we go up to the high of the candle and we get high volume as we're buying that high, and we close in an engulfing, then we bought premium. Watch it reoffer. As long as the volume drops on the reoffer, then you buy the reoffer and then let it push. And that's kind of how, like you'll have Brian does this really nice like 920 situation, and you'll find the 9 kind of like rolls right up that value reoffering. And that's why if it cracks the 9 and the 20 and comes back and tests, you can kind of get out, because you can kind of see it's lost its momentum. But right now, watch here as we start to buy premium, right? It'll pop it up. So over in YouTube, our man Carlos flipped over into my screen for a second so y'all could see what that looks like. So every day when our moderators are trading here live, one of the big benefits to, being in the chat room is at any moment in time, you can ask your, whoever style kind of resonates with you. You know what I mean? You can talk to them and ask them to explain stuff to you. And most of us have been trading, I've been trading for over a half a decade. So Brian's been trading for, I don't know, at least 200 or 300 years.
Don't even say it.
So
Don't say it.
Actually, Brian actually started
Centuries.
trading. He actually started trading Japanese futures. They were
Yeah,
actually
the candles.
he was on the Dojima Rice Exchange back in
Exactly.
1585. which is where he started his trading career. So
Let's just say I was there when Washington crossed the Potomac.
so anyway, but one of the great benefits to getting to hang out here is most of us have a pretty fair amount of experience under our belt these days, so when it gives you a chance, you can just work with. He invented the Hekanashi candlestick,
There you
actually, Japanese for average
Haganashi, yeah.
days. Hekanashi,
That was
yes.
Megan's favorite trader, favorite tool. See, here's an interesting, this is interesting. We may still go back up to 350, but there's still a big order on Tesla at 350. You can see we kind of, again, we kind of rejected the pre-market high. That's exactly where we rolled over on Tesla. So again, Tesla pretty reliable in terms of where it trades in terms of levels. Trying to figure out where the SPY's going here. SPY, we kind of popped up, dropped back, and just now we're just sort of trading in a very narrow range here. Same with the Qs. I don't know whether we're going to go up or down here. So I'm just sitting on my hands at this point because I don't see a trade where I've got any kind of an edge right now.
Yeah, the SPY is kind of opened in like kind of a weird spot to find. It opened a little under the buyers, so now we've kind of got to get above them and coax them back in. Or else we're gonna have to dip to a lower level of support, of liquidity to entice us some buyers. I'm gonna bail this NVIDIA if it comes back down through PDC because my entry was a little later than I wanted to be off of S3. So this is hopefully if it comes down, stops me, it'll get a little lower and give me a chance to reevaluate this with a better entry position. But I really don't like how late my entry on it was, so I'll get rid of it. Which I really don't use break even a whole lot, but this is the one instance I do when I think utilizing it will allow me to get a better position or get me out of basically a non-performing position that I think I'm going to be stuck in all day. So we'll see what happens. So that's 133.41 for me. I'll get out. It should. If it buys here, I'm going to be good to go. So that's why I'm saying if it goes down back through PDC, it's just no reason to hang on to it. Hopefully I can get a better position. Ooh, look, buyer. Yeah, nice. Well, we'll see here. What do you guys think about, let's see, how's Apple doing? Yeah, Apple's kind of being more boring than I was hoping. "15 minutes to Powell." That feels like that should be like a song, Matt H.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What have we got? We really don't have anything else in terms of economic events. So really,
No, just Powell sprinkling a little bit
I
of
don't
market
know.
love on all of us.
I don't think that Powell's been pretty good when it comes to sort of answering questions.
Sure.
And keeping
I
it.
seriously don't have any issues with Powell at all, actually. I think he's actually done a pretty
No,
decent job. You know what I mean? It's got to be a
no, he's
hard
been good.
job.
Yeah, he's been in there for a while because I think he was wasn't he? He was a Trump pick, right? Back in when Trump was
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that to be for
president.
sure, but I think he was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was, and then Biden just kept him, and now he's still there.
Now he's the Salt Bay of the stock market, sprinkling
Yeah.
a little financial knowledge on everybody.
Okay, it's hard to say where things are going here. AMD has gone green on the day. It's interesting. Yeah, so far I've had a pretty decent day with a swing trade on Tesla and two Tesla trades. So I've got to look and see if I can see a good, really good setup for something else here. Entice me into doing another trade right now. What's um, what's
You know,
Apple
it's
been
wild.
doing? Apple popped and dropped.
Here's something wild on
Seemed like
Apple, just in case you lose faith in the market's ability to control price during Catalyst. This line up here that you guys can see, that's the calculated ATR high off of pre-market low. Uh, look at where our top wick went to. You can't get any more precise than that. But it just shows you, even this
yeah,
event, they just ran the ATR range and then hit it and then came right off of it.
you're a big ATR guy. I don't use
Yeah.
ATR, but I know obviously it's working for you. What I would look
You
at
know, I
this
don't
chart, the
trade
Apple chart.
off of it. I don't trade off of
Yeah,
it precisely, right? I use my cam pivots. But it's, it's all a part of the, what do you say, the self-fulfilling prophecy of the market, you know what I mean? They use
yeah.
ATR, which creates high and low creates cams, it uses cams, then ATR, it's just some big, cyclical. Yeah, no, Ken's totally right, actually. The stock market is completely random. No control going on here
Yeah,
whatsoever.
nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. We call it massaged. So average ATR, average true range or average trading range, depending on who you're talking to, not to be confused with average daily range or daily trading range, right? There's ATR and then there's ADR, right? We don't want to confuse the two. Average trading range includes the after hours. So it goes from session high to session low, where ADR only is the high and lows of the open session specifically. My pleasure, sis.
Yeah, and see, I would look at Apple as well, however they did it, this high that it hit was a pre-market high. So again, it might have been getting back to your theory about ATR, but
Mm.
that was definitely a pre-market high where it rejected in the trading session so far. And we talked about this yesterday of how these false breakouts and false breakdowns give really good signals. I didn't catch this obviously, but Apple did try to push to a new high through that pre-market high and completely failed. So that would have been a really good signal for me to get short on this Pierce. I think isn't it John's trade that Pearson fail?
Jared Pearson fail. I think most
Is it
is a,
Jared's?
but I don't know. John might do that. I think that's a Jared.
Oh, Jared does that. Of course he does.
J Rad. So
Jared, Jared does
truly
everything.
embracing the responsive position. You know what I mean? You watch it try and break, and if it doesn't break, you fail. It's kind of like, you have John doing the high of daybreak, and then you have the Jared basically failure of the high of daybreak. It's kind of fun. John does the Pierce Bronson strategy.
Everything's really choppy right now. I'm not seeing anything I'm really keen on trading
Yeah, I'm kind
at
of in the
this
same
point.
spot with you, especially knowing we've got nine minutes to Powell.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why the market's just really sort of
Yeah, I think
hanging
we're
loose
all
here.
waiting. We're all waiting.
Yeah, I think they're just waiting for Powell to put his foot in his mouth or something like that.
Right on.
or
Like we're just waiting
or
for some.
say everything's coming up roses and we're cutting. We're gonna cut.
The market's had rose-colored glasses on for the past 4 years.
Yeah,
I don't see why we can't just do that now.
yeah, true. So again, this is kind of This is a time where you don't, you just have to exercise some patience here. I suspect we will get, we'll get some more trading opportunities. Just got to be a little bit patient and wait for something to emerge. Like I said, you don't want to. If you've got a green day going, you don't want to mess it up with a trade just because you're bored and you can't find anything to trade, so you just decide to trade something that starts to look interesting, something that doesn't fit in your trade book. There goes the Q and the SPY. All right, we're breaking out here.
Launch. Still holding NVIDIA long. Let's see if we can. We got good volume on this buy here. Let's see if we can engulf and get through premium here. So remember, y'all, I was talking about before about the premium level. So that's kind of what we're doing here, right? Think about this level, this high, our session high right now. This is where we found a seller, right? So that becomes premium in the shorter time frame, right? Where did we find our buyer? Our buyer was at PDC, right? So PDC now marks discount, right? Where the ceiling becomes the floor, where we bought old premium, now new discount, right? When we come back here, look, we bought, but now as we're offering, and one thing that I'm not loving is we're getting sold off of the top here with wicks, and the volume increases when that happens. So the VPA here says we're hitting a seller here that they're really having a lot of trouble with, because we can't buy through with good volume. But right now, that's what we want to see. Because I'm holding long here from underneath PDC. So ideally, for me, I want to see the support, and I want to see them buy premium, and then have that premium established as the new discount range. And that's what creates kind of you'll hear Peter illustrate the lightning bolt pattern. This is basically what creates that. Is as we buy premium, we'll have a fair value offering, and if it gets bought, we buy more premium, and then we move up. So that's what we're kind of watching to see what happens. Right now, I'm just hung on to this position unless it cracks. Order book, I think, actually looks a little heavy, so I think it could sell on me. But for now, we wait and see. Maybe Powell says something that helps me in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
Probably
this
not.
was a bit of a Pearson fail. Like, it was a bit of a pop up,
Yeah.
and then just a drop back if you really want to
It's a
look at it that
struggle.
way.
It's a struggling.
I'm eyeballing AMD here. It's at a area where I think it's going to see some resistance. It's not looking. It's not looking ready to break down yet, but we still could push to this prior day high here. It's definitely a little heavy here. Yeah, the Q's lost the VWAP.
Over in YouTube, RH was asking, is it possible to trade without level 2? Absolutely. The vast majority of stock traders prior to like last year traded without level 2. Like level 2, or like being able to actually pay money and see the full depth of market, or at least the most of the depth of market. So like when we're talking level 2, we're talking DOM, right? Depth of market. There's some buyers. Come on, NVIDIA, let's go. So whenever we're talking, level 2 or the DOM, you know what I mean? That's something retail traders just got access to in any reasonable way. You could get access to it if you're a proprietary or an institutional trader, or you're a part of like V Group or some kind of trading group, sure. But being able just to go out and buy something like Bookmap, or get access to level 2. I mean, you even think about DOS's level 2 is $350, $400 a month, depending on how you get that put in, right? So, but if you have Bookmap will run you $400 a month for good access to that. You know what I mean? So most level twos that you get are fairly incomplete because they only carry like one data source. Like you're just seeing ARCA, but you're not seeing like IEX or NYSE or any of the other routes, right? You're not getting Rhythmic or any of the other data routes that are coming through. So having a good, DOM allows you to see where all of the balance is and where all the orders are being put on the market. And if all the orders are being put to the top side, the market's probably pretty strong. So depending on how they're layered up there, but all that saying, certainly not necessary, right? Yep, that's exactly right, Jacob. So I only pay $39 for Bookmap as well, Nate, but that's because you have Charles Schwab, right? So you've got that sweet deal you can get if you got tossed through Charles Schwab, right? So you can certainly do that, right? That's what I got too, by the way, as you're seeing on my screen.
I'm
That's the
short
kind of
AMD, by the way. I just got short AMD at
noise.
111.29. So I'm not going to give this a lot of room here. So stop out 10 cents higher.
Accidentally close
Sorry, I
this.
didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, no, you're getting in a position. That's important.
So let's just see here. On one hand, I'm thinking this is still looking bullish. On the other hand, I'm thinking it's at a level where it should fail or at least pull back.
Yeah.
This is yesterday's high and also an R3 level. So volume's kind of dropping off on it a bit here. Let's just
2
see
minutes
what
ago, Powell time.
part of it's going to be. Yeah, Powell's going to be
All
speaking
right,
here
check this out.
shortly.
Hey, Carlos, if you want to toss my book map up onto the YouTube for a second, I want to show the YouTube people why these why the market goes crazy
Okay,
during
here
these
we go.
speaking events.
I'm covering some here at 111.03. See if we can lose 111. There we go. There's this 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. I don't know if we're going to get there. Oh, that was a nice drop. There we go.
Boom.
Covered some more.
So I don't think Carlos's screen, I think, or the broadcasting screen is the one that says SPY. So we're news is coming in right now. So look how empty our order book, how all these orders start being peeled off the book. So this is why we can get these
Nice.
big manipulations here. So here comes the volume.
Okay, that was a bit more. That was a bit more of a drop than I had was hoping for, but I'll take it.
Powell is now speaking. So
Q's and SPY are popping. What did he say? Hello, and the market went up.
so far, what else does he need to say? It's like, hello, Bobbins.
No, I stay with a 2-minute chart all the way along. For my entries, I always use the 2-minute chart, and that's the charts that I typically am using. So I did bail on the rest of that trade there on the drop on AMD. So hopefully you guys took that, or at least thought about taking it. I mean, I'm not telling you what to trade, but that's I kind of went over why I thought that was a decent setup for a possible pullback. SBAC. Someone asking there about SBAC. Yeah, look at the cues. There's SPY popped. Amazon went back green. Let me see. Look at this. C8, AMD is coming back right back up here.
Yeah, I'm watching this offering on it right now. I want to see if we find a seller here. No time for puts. Powell. That's hilarious. I'm doing nothing with NVIDIA right now. I kind of like where AMD is at. But oh yeah, I
Yeah,
see what you're
this
saying.
could
No,
be.
I actually cut NVIDIA. With the news event coming out, I didn't, and this ticker just not performing. I just don't like where it's at, and I'm just so yeah, I got rid of it. I don't like holding positions through news events, so I actually cut it right before the news came out, and made like $5 on
Yeah,
it, something like that.
AMD could be
I
a
don't
lower high
accept it
here.
during news events. I'm watching AMD for a short, maybe, Brian.
Yeah, I was just saying that it could be putting in a lower high here, which would be a opportunity for a short for sure.
I like that we're right at R3, good selling range. I like that we had a big sell that hit right at 10 o'clock. We had a
Yeah,
large sell, very large sell.
that
As we
was
bought back
that
up
was
on that
massive.
pullback to R3, the volume did drop quite a bit. So that's kind of what I'm looking for a reversal signal.
Sitting right on top of the 9 EMA of the 2-minute chart. And if it
So
loses that, we could be heading to VWAP, which would be 1050
we just
ish
had a
area.
large
That would
buy that
be
was completely absorbed. So it didn't engulf at all. So that's it's looking like it wants to sell because now the large buys are getting absorbed.
SBCA, as far as a swing trade goes, kind of looks interesting. It has broken a downtrend. When does it report? October, November, December, January. It should have reported already.
I'm gonna give AMD a shot short. See what
Yeah,
happens.
I've taken that short to see how it does here. I just love your that one philosophy you have about sticking with a trade and being in a trade isn't supposed to be comfortable. There we go.
Got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
You got to be uncomfortable. There we go. I'm using options here. Oh, there we go. And that's what we like to see.
R3 is a Camarilla pivot point. If you're interested in learning more
Wow.
about them, I have a ton of info on them here in the BBT chat room. I also wrote a small book on them.
Mhm.
Target's going to be
Check
a
it.
run on this thing. I'm going to be looking for S3. So I'm going to run this thing across the range. I'll be looking for like 109, let's call it 50, maybe even 108
Yeah, if
something.
you want,
Like we'll see where we can get on it.
if you if you want all everything you wanted to know about volume price analysis, check out Thor's book on Amazon. So AMD kind of didn't quite get to the VWAP. Still looking a little weak here.
Is
Got a
there
bit of a
something
sell-off
that changed?
on the market there.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. It doesn't seem like the market's completely like kicked in gear yet, like made up its mind that it's ready.
You know,
So I wouldn't say
Tesla's
someone was asking if some big thing changed since I started changing that was huge since the book, and I wouldn't know if anything huge has changed fundamentally, but I am still learning significantly more about the process. Like it's like you would think like, I'm at kind of like a level I kind of know it. It's like there's so much more, under the hood. So in the more, I think, Corey, that's a good one, Corey. I think the biggest change I've probably made since writing the book is actually risk management. Just going for 4-to-1 targets. Back when I wrote the book, I used to partial a lot more. Now I really don't partial at all. So that was probably my biggest change.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable being uncomfortable, you know. So I really
Yeah,
find it hard to
that's what trading is,
and
man. I think.
yeah, I do I mean, and it depends on the trade. I mean, this AMD trade I'll just try to stick with here. We're coming down to the VWAP and previous day close. So I would expect a significant bounce here, a bit of a bounce here as we hit these levels. VWAP is call it 110.47. So we bounced right there. So SPY just bounced off yesterday's low. Tesla is just a zombie company right now, or a zombie price action, just going lower here. There's a big order at 340.
My life coach would have. Kind of
See, there's
squeezing
that
back though a
bounce
little
on.
bit off of VWAP.
Yeah. Well, off of VOAP and off of previous day close.
Mm-hmm.
So predictable. Nvidia's just sort of hanging around previous day close as well. Kind of came back up on the markets, but it's been really choppy. So we'll get a really nice move if we can lose PDC on AMD.
Yeah, they're reoffering to the sell side right now. So depending on how this goes, we should find a sell. So if you're looking at my book map, y'all, look how we had this big green dot come in, right? But notice really what didn't happen to the price there. It didn't go up. We got big green dots, but we just kind of advanced towards 111. But with all that volume, we should have bought 111 pretty easily. There's not even that many orders there. So this is kind of showing you that the market maker right now, whenever anybody, starts to buy, the market maker is filling that from the market maker's inventory. They're not running the book to get the cells to fill that. Right. So that's what we call absorption. For those of you who focus on tape reading and stuff like with Pyrus, that is literally what absorption is. So, which is the market maker is now distributing into the buyers, and that's the difference between selling and distributing, right? The market maker is distributing into the buyers, there's not selling, right? So you see absorption, and that's a really big key often when you're spotting tops, is that the market maker is no longer accumulating. The market maker is distributing. And that's who's in charge of the price going up and down. So you really want to pay attention to that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, AMD. Really, we love to see a nice flush here. Some big order sitting there at 340. Q's and SPY kind of catching a bid here.
Yeah, I also like that as the Qs and SPY are kind of pushing, AMD is also not going anywhere. So, but if they start ripping, AMD does have some larger orders to the top side here. So if they decide to go for them, they can. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. What's CP on my chart? Central pivot. So it's actually off the classic or the floor pivots. So a lot of the NYSE traders use the CP. So it's just kind of like mid range.
Here we go. Come on, back down to VWAP. Come on.
Basics in the YouTube's asking, would you recommend trading more than one stock at a time for a beginner? I mean, I think that that's a really interesting concept. So it really depends on your trading style, right? So there's like traders like Andrew specifically, they really kind of need volatility and really good price movement to really make their strategy shine. You know what I mean? And then there's other traders like me, almost kind of the polar opposite. I do much better when the price action is choppy or range bound. Right. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. So for me personally, I kind of think like Avi's kind of the same way. We really kind of trade basically like the Mag 7 almost every single day. Or like an equivalent ETF or like a future or an options version of the same thing, because really for us, we just want something that's replicatable day after day after day. And all of these tickers give great RVR, great spreads, great liquidity, right? And it has the right dollar amount. You need the right dollar amount versus the amount of spread there is. So you can, with the right ATR, you know what I mean? So that's, ticker, you want a ticker that has a really good ATR every day, right? That way, when you trade it, there's a better than average chance you're going to move far enough for you to get to profit. And then that really, really helps you out as you go back. Matt, yes, absolutely. Avid, actually. I love fishing.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, it just depends on the way you trade. If you're a momentum trader, more like maybe like myself, I would say for a beginner, no. I mean, I rarely have two trades going. I tend to just start to focus on one trade that I think looks one stock that I think looks interesting. I think as a beginner, you need to keep it as simple as possible. Have two or three strategies maximum, and then focus on trading those strategies. Don't be jumping all over the place. And there might be some days where you don't trade, but that's a win as far as I'm concerned, because it shows you have discipline and you're following your trading plan. Yeah, kind of not really much of a direction here. AMD is just trading sideways. We get a nice pop back on Tesla. So that big order at 340 is still sitting there. $339.12 is S4, so maybe there's a chance it could go here. But again, kind of trading in no man's land right now. All right, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying this out on YouTube. I know it's you're dealing with a bit of a delay. So, but if you like and have had some good trades today or learned something, maybe just give us a thumbs up. Okay, there goes the SPY is popping now, and the Qs are right back at high of day.
Someone was asking, are the orders real or could they also be fake on the level 2 LK? So technically LK, spoofing orders is illegal and would constitute a very hefty fine. So that's the public service announcement side of this, right? So now, is it a genuine order that was being put on the book that then got pulled off because that company had a different spontaneous valuation to what they thought the price of that ticker was worth? You know what I mean? Like really hard to prove. You know what I mean? So yeah, there are often orders coming on and off the book, and those orders are being put on the book to try and influence its directional movement, right? The smart money really does that all the time, right? So you got to kind of keep that in mind, that there is likely some quote unquote unprovable spoofing occurring in the market.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't overtly concern yourself with it. Focus on the volume and the market maker movement between the large orders, and just focus on that. If you see orders that are coming on and coming off a lot, then you can kind of see that, and you just got to kind of learn to kind of deal with that. This is why you focus in on the volume, because the one thing that cannot be spoofed, it cannot be faked. It's the lifeblood of the market. It's the methodology that's been working since Cooling, since Wyckoff, since Ney, since Neil, since Dow, right? Is VPA. You know what I mean? Watch how the market buys. As it buys, see how much volume is applied to the candle. If your candle moves really far and engulfs with a lot of volume, that's genuinely going to be a very strong candle. As it pulls back, the volume should drop, showing the market is offering buyers a fair potential to get in, right? Because of insufficient price delivery. If buyers elect to buy, you should buy with them, right? And as long as you continue looking at it that way, you'll do pretty good.
I mean, you can have iceberg orders too. You can have orders that just don't appear, and you'll see stocks continually hit a level,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
there won't be any orders there. Yeah.
So I'm still hanging on to this AMD trade. We got a little bit against me for a second, but now I'm back on the right side of it. Looks like the market's rolling over a titch right now as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here in a minute. We should have a moment of truth here in the next couple of minutes, because we keep popping back to PDC. I think on a lot of the market, trying to get some buyers.
Tesla kind of trying to get through the VWAP here. It might come back up. I guess really Powell hasn't said anything that's overly contentious yet. Just seems like we're kind of chopping along here.
Mm-hmm.
Nvidia's, I'm just looking at some of the charts here. Nvidia's doing nothing. It's just hanging around yesterday's close. Even the Qs, I mean, there's, it's pretty pretty choppy price action.
Yeah, these mornings have been so like non-directional, making me extra boring. Hamid, those are it's with pre-market data and one's without pre-market data. You're 100% right. So we're talking RTH versus ETH CAM calculations. Whenever the pre-market action for today has moved outside the regular trading average, moved outside the high and low of the previous trading day, I will include the extended trading hours data so that I'll pull the session low basically in the session high and use those instead of using regular trading hours high and low. That gives me the new calc. All right, we're still just kind of floating around here.
Yeah, we're just, oh, here we go. SPY's popping a bit here.
Yeah. I had a feeling, yeah, we got this really large order cluster on NQ right to the top side too. So they're trying to buy, but a lot of absorption here. They're really having trouble buying this order block to the top side. But they're bringing in some orders above, so they could. I'm not expecting a breakout in the market today. It's a wider range day, and kind of with a lot of mixed news. So I'm just not really sure I see the market breaking out today. So that's why I'm kind of still waiting for this. I'm waiting for a range play to set up because that's generically what I'd like to play on a day like this. So, but the Apple news coming out may have changed the market a little bit. I think Apple coming out with the Baba situation, I think that maybe brought some. I wanted to buy R4 on Apple when it came back to 229.50. It was just before 10 o'clock, and I didn't want to buy it ahead of the news event. So, but that would have been nice, and it didn't even care about, or not news, just Powell. But it didn't even care about Powell. It just started trending. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Apple go up to, to run out to floor 4 today. I could see Apple going all the way to like 234, 235, especially if the market gets to a rally.
It looks like we're going to rally here, maybe break out.
Trying.
Qs are breaking out. Qs look like they might want to go green here.
Well, good sir. I'm not seeing anything I'm going to be able to jump into, I think. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here. Maybe one of our fearless brethren has had a little bit more luck on this. I'm still kind of just hanging out and seeing what's going to happen on this AMD one, but we'll see what goes on. But I hope everyone had a good time trading in here and hanging out with us today. We appreciate everybody for the likes that you already threw
For
in
sure.
for us. That's very awesome. So if y'all have any other questions, don't forget, BBT is here for you. Come by and check us out. Come by the chat room. We'd love to hang out with you. So I will talk to y'all all
Yeah,
later.
for sure.
Profit of profit. Always great trading with
Thanks,
you,
Doc.
brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, buddy. All right, take care. Yeah. And also, just going to mention here, we will be on at 3:30 as well. I think, as Carlos already mentioned, we will be trading the open or the earnings calls at the end of today here. Qs are pushing up here. SPY is right at high of day. Okay, well, no positions for me now. I got out of that AMD shorts. Doesn't look like it's going to fail at all. Looks like the market's going to try to rally here. Qs are going to go, by the looks of it, Qs are going to go green here. They're going to get to PDC anyway. Wow, AMD's right back up at high of day. Getting a rally across the board here. Wow, nice pop on the SPY. I should have traded SPX there. That would have been a good trade. Ooh, big pop on that one. There's SPY, there's Qs right at PDC. So we get a pullback here. AMD breaking out, new high.
Hey everyone, how are you doing, guys?
Hey, good morning, Eamon.
Hey Brian, how's your day?
This is good.
Doing good?
Good.
This is amazing. Let me just make sure that all is good in my end. What did you end up trading today?
Got a nice bit of a trade on Tesla. Also, AMD short was nice. So, yeah.
Oh, this is actually amazing. I caught a couple trades. I took one on SMCI, one on PLTR. Let me actually, guys, walk you through the trades that I have taken if you are interested in that. Two stocks in play. It's not my usual type of plays, since I'm usually looking for stocks that look clear on both the daily and the weekly chart before I execute a trade. But these were good for the 60-minute chart. First of all, PLTR, I have it on my weekly watch list. Looking at this weekly chart, you can see that we did break this multi-month consolidation area. We had a nice run with an increasing volume on the 3rd of February week, and I expected a continuation this week. Looking at the daily chart, looks like a flag, but this is a fake flag. I call it a fake flag or a fake ABCD pattern because the ABCD pattern happens while we're still extended from the 9 moving average. The 9 usually acts as a magnet. The price usually reaches to it before the continuation, and whenever we have a flag far from the 9, it means that this break is a fake break, and most probably we're going to sell off. I mainly took it because of how the 60-minute chart looked like, nice flag around here, and because of how the 5-minute chart looked like. It's mainly the 5. If you take a look at this 5-minute chart, you can clearly see this level at 116.20. Mike, sorry about that. It's not my fault, but the team is working on that. Anyway, so like I was saying, the clear level around here is 116.20. You could see that we did break this level at 8:45. Normally, at the break of the level, I would expect the stock to retest and then trend to the downside. That's what PLTR tried to do. You see, it broke, it retested, it tried to sell off, but rather than selling off, it gets bought back up. And that was my signal at the open to play it to the long side. Played it to the long side, set my stop loss around the retest area, and that was unfortunate. It just went against me and it got me stopped out. Small loser on this trade. I took another trade on SMCI. SMCI had a similar idea to PLTR. On the weekly chart, you can see that there was a nice consolidation. There is a nice fake breakdown. By the way, fake breakdowns, fake breakouts are the best confirmation for me before I execute a trade. The win rate is really high on these ones, and I'll talk about it more after 11 a.m. Anyway, nice fake breakdown. I'm expecting a continuation this week to the long side. The daily chart was off. This is what I call after the long bar scenario. Normally, after long bars, the price does not continue going higher. It usually chops around, it pulls back, it could rip higher, but it's totally random. Looking at the 60-minute chart, or actually the 5-minute chart, you could see similar price action to PLTR. There is approximately a level around here. Resistance, resistance, support, support, support. And what happens at the open? We break below the level. That's what I call a fake breakdown. I played it to the long side. It went against me. I got stopped out. And then I scaled in multiple times to the long side. Long here, flag, long, breakout of the pre-market high, long one more time. Took most of my position at 41.70. Final target was at previous day close, and I moved my stop loss to break even, which was 40.88. The dump was fierce, so I gave some of the profits back, but positive for today. 2 A+ setups. Happy about it. Brian did trade Tesla and AMD. AMD looks really good. Did you play a short, Brian, on AMD, or it was a long?
Well, I shorted it off of a level. I shorted it off of R3 and the previous day high. And some reason it got a really nice big red candle. Kind of covered some at just around 111. Got in 111.30, and then the rest of it 110.80. So it had a really nice pullback there.
Yeah, that was a quick one. That was a really quick one. These are the ones that I love.
Yeah, just a
risk-free
quick
trades.
trade.
You just jump in. Yeah, you just jump in. It goes in your favor. You're out. No stress. The SMCI trade that I've taken was really stressful. It was just long consolidation.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was a setup that I saw, at an area where I just felt that it was definitely going to be, or fairly confident it was going to pull back from that level. And I
it was
knew it
actually
wasn't
good.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I can see also the level on the 60-minute chart around 111.45. That was the area that you have shorted it from, which was actually really good. Surprised it did not continue going lower. That was amazing. Faraz is asking about Tesla possible ABCD pattern on the 5-minute chart. Let's take a look at Tesla and let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. Now, Faraz, you are right about the 5-minute chart. It is a reverse ABCD pattern. We are dumping from 348 to 342, pulling back to the 9 moving average 344.50, and we expect a continuation to the downside. But one tip for the future, whenever you're playing the ABCD pattern, you want to look at least 1 or 2 time frames ahead of you, and you want to make sure that these other 2 time frames are also supporting your direction, because what might look like a reverse ABCD pattern on the 5-minute chart might be a reversal to the long side on a time frame that is higher. So let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart, I like it. It is selling off. That is amazing. Let's take a look at the 60-minute chart. We are breaking the range and it's going to the downside. That's actually also a good sign for a short. 15-minute chart had a reverse ABCD bouncing from the 9, and the 5-minute chart looks like a reverse ABCD as well. Now look, that is amazing. All the time frames around here are supporting your idea. Now, the final thing that you might want to check is the average true range. You want to make sure that the stock still has room to run to the downside. You obviously don't want to short it exactly at the low of the day, right? So what's the average true range on Tesla? It's around $14. We usually do not target $14. That's a stretch. That's the maximum. You want to go for somewhere around 80% of the average true range. So if the average true range is around $14, the 80% of the average true range would be around maybe 12.6 or so. Let's take a look at today's range and today's price action. We are selling off approximately from 352 all the way to 342. According to the average true range, this thing could go all the way to 341 or 340. Yeah, 340. So there is like $3 more to the downside. Now you're gonna ask yourself a question: if I'm gonna play this one to the short side, where my stop loss is going to be? There it is. I'm shorting it, for example, at the break of this consolidation, just to be safe, right? I'm gonna short it at 343. Where will I place my stop loss? Probably closer to the high, or at least a little bit below the high, which is 344.30ish or 344.50ish for now, at least. That's a bit of a wide stop loss, $1.50 stop loss, going for a target of 340. It will give you a 2-to-1, but do you really want to stretch it to the maximum of the ATR, literally to the edges, just to get a 2-to-1? In my opinion, there could be something else that is better, or there could be some other stock that is better to find an ABCD pattern on that's going to give you a better risk to reward ratio. But this is not a bad choice. I like it.
SPX SPY is pushing to a new high here. It's interesting.
Yeah, this one is actually looking interesting, and I think it could go higher. It could go higher. Yep. There is more room for it to the upside. 605.50ish is probably realistic on it today. I don't like the daily chart. I like the 60-minute chart and the intraday patterns. It's really bullish. We did clear all the consolidation areas. So previous day close is enough realistic on this one. Yeah, Cam, the ATR is one of the most important indicators that I'm using when I am trading. Let me actually share with you one of the trades that I've taken yesterday, and I'll tell you how I manage this trade. And it's mainly based on the concept of the average true range. Let's go for this. Yeah, this is better. So look at these guys. Yesterday, I played NVIDIA to the long side, and let's start on the weekly chart. NVIDIA, weekly chart. If you take a look at NVIDIA on the weekly chart, it's the first time that we're hitting the 50 moving average in years, right? In a couple of years. And the 50 moving average is a strong swing trading moving average. Normally, swing traders, they buy around the 50 moving average, they set a stop loss 1 ATR below it, and they expect a continuation. Just seeing that around the 50 moving average for a couple of weeks we held with an increasing volume, I could tell that this week NVIDIA is going to be long. Now let's go to the daily chart. Looking at the daily chart, you can see that there is a mini consolidation around here, bullish candle at the high of this mini consolidation, and it actually broke it, which means that this day around here, NVIDIA is going to be long. What's the average true range on NVIDIA? Approximately around $5 to $6. That means that I would be expecting NVIDIA to go from the low, which is around 129, all the way to the high, which is around 135 if I go for $6, or to 134 if I go for $5. I just go for safer. I go for less most of the time. Now, what happens on the 5-minute chart? There is the consolidation. One of the things that you want to do as traders is to zoom out your charts. You want to look at the bigger picture to understand what's happening overall. And you could see that yesterday we were stuck in this consolidation area. After hours, we were stuck in this consolidation area. In the pre-market, we were stuck in this consolidation area. Then in the pre-market, we are breaking, retesting classic ABCD pattern. I opened my position, and I added for a 5-minute opinion range breakout, which is also an ABCD pattern on the 1-minute chart. And where did I exit all out? At the ATR. So one of the questions that a lot of traders are asking themselves when they're just starting to trade, when would I let my trades run for a longer time, and when do I need to scalp it? When do I need to bail out of my position sooner? Because at some points you end up bailing so soon on your position, and then you see that big run and you're like, shoot, I left a lot on the table. I could have made a lot of money. And on some other positions, you try to get a bigger winner, but you end up getting nothing because the stock just goes against you. And one of the things that helped me control this and at least have an approximate idea as of how far the price could go is using the average true range in my trading. Helps me survive the pullbacks, understand when I need to add, and understand when I need to exit or bail out of my position. Dalton, I like this question. So what if the stock gapped up or down more than its ATR? You know that the ATR, the average true range, usually calculated from the pre-market low or from the previous day close, from the lowest point. Obviously, if you want to take it to the long side, then the average true range is traded from the previous day close or from the pre-market low. Let's take a look at SMCI, for example, today. And we'll go to the 5-minute chart. What is the lowest point? Is it the previous day close or is it the low of the day? The low of the day is below the previous day close. So it means that we'll calculate the ATR from the low. The starting point is 132. The average true range is $5. That means that SMCI can go from 132 approximately to 137. And remember, it's an ATR, right? It's an ATR. It's average true range. It doesn't really need to hit 137. It could go to 136. It could go to 135. I go for 80% of the average true range. Obviously, when the stocks have earnings or when they have news, most of the time they gap more than their average true range. Let me show you an example right now. A trade that I've taken that gapped more than the average true range. PLTR a couple days or a couple weeks ago. So this is PLTR around here. Let's go for this actually. No, where is it? Yeah, this. So you could see PLTR is 375 and we are opening at 102. So we gapped up around $20. How will I calculate how far the stock is going to go to if it already hits average true range? I will not use the daily ATR. I usually, when I trade based on the concept of candle by candle analysis, and I will explain it to you in detail a bit later because I think I'll still be here till 12 p.m. a lot of time, and I'll be able to answer all your questions. So anyway, I'm not predicting a daily ATR around here. Stocks that gap more than the ATR, I play a smaller time frame on. I play the 60-minute chart, and I play just a momentum play based on the 60-minute ATR. The average size of the 60-minute candle, just visually, you could tell it's around $3, right? $2 to $3, maybe not $3, maybe around $1.50 or $2 approximately. So if I end up playing PLTR to the long side, I'll be playing it approximately for $2 move, predicting one 60-minute candle, not a daily candle. So you could see here how I could manage my risk even though the daily ATR is hit. I know that I'm not playing a daily ATR. I know that I'm not going for the $3 or $4 move that is that the daily average true range shows me. I'm going for a smaller time frame, the 60-minute ATR. It is obviously smaller, but at least I will not be holding it for a bigger run, hoping that it's going to run when I know that that's the maximum it could hit. Make sense? If the stock gaps and it already hits its ATR, you play 60-minute ATR. Okay, I'm a moderator at Bearable Traders. I don't have my own channel or website, but you could follow me on X.
Interesting. Yeah, that was an interesting discussion about ATR. We were talking about that Thor as well in Thor. Wow, SPY is about to go green, and the Qs have gone green. Dow has gone green. I guess
Yeah, is it amazing?
everybody's.
It hit the previous day
Yeah.
close. Exactly as we said. Yep.
Powell's putting on a show. It's making people happy.
I mean, honestly, even though the day was a little bit choppy and the moves were unpredictable,
Yeah,
it was not as bad as I expected it to be.
I did a bit of an SPX trade while you were talking there. Just take advantage of this move back up. Kind of thought SPY was at least going to go here to this previous day close. And I already mentioned I thought Qs were going to go green. So we are green on the day.
Yeah, I think because of that, some other stocks like Apple, like AMD, like Tesla, they'll end up going to the
Yeah.
upside. Tesla is struggling, but a lot of other stocks are running.
Baba.
Nvidia is struggling, and
Yeah,
Nvidia
Baba
could end up
was.
performing better.
Yeah, Baba was amazing. I mean, again, it did sort of the same thing yesterday. Kind of didn't do much until it sort of broke out of a range here. Kind of broke out of this 114.50 range. It's up into an area where there's probably going to be some resistance. This is basically based on a sort of a weekly time frame here. We're into an area where prior high back in September of last year.
Yeah, we are almost at all-time highs, right? I don't know if it's all-time highs, but we're at strong resistance right now. It did reject it multiple times. It failed to break it a couple of times. And we're also sitting around the 200 moving average on the weekly chart, which is a really strong resistance area. Yeah, it's not all-time high, but it's a really strong resistance for multiple years. We've held it at 2022, in June 2022, 2023, and now we're at it 2024. So I would expect a pullback. If you take a look at the weekly chart, that's a really strong move from $80 all the way to $118. I mean, 115, 118. Around that area, we might have a massive pullback or some sort of consolidation.
Here we go. SPY has gone green.
Can you show us the cat? Yeah, I can show you. It will come. It will come.
What time is it there, Eamon?
It's 6:50 p.m.
Okay, so is that sunset? You looking out your window there?
It's dark outside. Exactly.
Nice.
I mean, it's a really good time for trading. I don't fall asleep. I'm not feeling sleepy or anything. I'm doing half of the things that I need to do. 5:30 or 5 p.m. my time is 9 a.m. Eastern. I just sit in front of my PC,
okay.
build my watch list, get ready trading, and by 6 p.m. I'm done.
Okay. That's not the glow from Chernobyl over there.
Timan, I live in Moscow.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Did I answer someone in the chat? Really, you won't believe it, but I do. Still a doctor. I graduated from a medical university, but now I'm trading full time. I'm not working as a doctor because I would not have time for trading if I was working as a doctor. It will conflict with my job time, and trading is easier. I wouldn't say it's easier. It's easier now that I got used to it.
Right on. What kind of doctor were you going to be? Emergency room?
I
Or?
wanted, yeah, I want to be a cardiologist.
Oh, cardiologist. Okay.
Yeah, fixing some broken hearts. But I ended up stopping with the general doctor degree. I had a few months of practice by the end because we started practicing on third year of university.
Hmm. All right.
And
Along some SPX again, just playing this breakout on the SPY, using options.
take a look at the SPY quickly. Yeah, this is amazing. It looks like
Just
it is going
selling
to
there.
rally. I don't like the daily chart at all, but just looking at the 60 and the room that it has to the upside, next level we have 605.50ish on the SPY.
Yeah. Wow. It looks like Tesla's going to hit that 340 now. It's trying anyway. It's really starting to break down here. We're right at now we're going to here we go. We're breaking down on Tesla.
Let's get back to
Okay, I got
Tesla.
out of this SPX. I know, I'm not short. I wish I was. I was trading SPX, so I kind of missed this breakdown on Tesla.
Yeah, it was amazing as well. Exactly. Like we've discussed, there is this range. And just based on the ATR, 340 is realistic on it. Based on the ATR, could be less, could be more. We don't want to stretch it out. You don't want to move your stop loss to break even, by the way, guys, after it breaks the consolidation area. Because a lot of times what happens after the breakout is a retest before the trend. Usually, I would put my stop loss slightly inside the range to survive the pullback. It will be less than 1 hour, obviously, but you're not going to get sold out at break even. 340, 50 something would be a good place to start locking in some profits. Because remember, what dumps down fast goes back up fast. If the drop is steady and slow, you could expect it to continue going lower. But if the drop is just fierce, the volume is high, and then it's difficult to tell is this a stopping volume, an exhaustion volume, or it's a breakout volume. I honestly will not consider it as a breakout volume because it did not come at the breakout area. We're having the volume at the end of the move, which is more of an exhaustion volume. Either way, you lose nothing by locking in some profits.
Wow. Damn. That would have been a nice options trade. Figured out it took out that 340 level. Should probably bounce right now. Could bounce.
SMCI during earnings. Honestly, earnings are a random thing. Nobody could predict them, right? But there is a slight chance, or that's at least what I believe, that it's going to squeeze to the upside.
Yeah.
I usually, what do you think about it, Brian?
What? A slight quick squeeze
SNCI
for Tesla.
earnings. No, SMCI earnings. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, when I talk about when I do my swing trading, I just don't like to hold stocks through earnings. It's kind of a rule I have on my swing
Mhm.
trades. Um, I just feel like I just don't have an edge. Like I don't know where it's going to go, and so it just feels a bit like gambling. Just
I
trying to
agree with
figure
that
out
part.
where things are going to go.
No, I 100% agree with
There's the
that.
bounce.
I did that one time. I had a really good entry back in July. Where was July? Yeah, I think it was either here or here. I did hold AMD through a nice run, got around 20% move, and I decided to hold it through earnings. Obviously, during earnings, the entry was so far from, sorry, the price was so far from my average. So I told myself either it's a good earnings and I'm going to have 10% more out of in profit, either it's bad and I exited break even. Obviously, it was bad, and I ended up exiting at a small loser. But then I was thinking, why the hell did I give 20% away? It's like literally gambling. Swing trading, by the way, is not my thing. I'm slowly getting into it, and I'm holding only positions that are only stocks that are well known, stocks like Tesla, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, AMD, Apple, and I play them only around the bottoms. But obviously, that was a wrong decision. Earnings are totally random things. You can't predict what's going to happen there.
Uh, yeah, if you want to check out my How to Trade Options book, I mean, I feel like the if you're going to trade earnings, you probably options are kind of your best strategy. Um, if you feel so inclined, but again, I mean, you get big moves during earning releases, and the point of trading is the first point of trading is basically to maintain your capital, so that you can live to trade another day. And if you're you can easily lose a lot of money, if you bet wrong on a trade, um, and you just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, they could come out with some good numbers and give weak guidance, and the stock will sell off. So even if you knew the numbers, or if you were confident in the numbers, you just don't know what they're going to say on the call. So yeah, I mean, you can, like I said, you can define your risk with options. Like you can do spreads, um, buy a put, buy a call, and then hopefully, the one put will, the one option will expire worthless. The other one might go up 3 or 4 times if you get a real blowout number. So, what you lose on the one option, you make more on the other. So, I mean, there are ways to play. Earnings with options. So, but as a general rule, for my swing trades, and I talk about this in my How to Swing Trade book and Profiting As an Active Trader book on Amazon. That's just my philosophy as far as swing trades go. Now, obviously, I have position trades. I have long-term investments that I just don't generally fool around with too much. So, but for swing trading strategies, that's what I typically will, do. And I got burned, by not following my rules. I got burned on a TD trade, Toronto Dominion trade. Stupidly held it through earnings, broke my rule, paid for it. But fortunately, that one did come back. And I did talk about that on my swing trade videos, the ones I put out on the weekend. So fortunately, I just held on to it, and TD came back up. But yeah, so here's another one. I had KMI as a swing trade, and you know, just I followed my rule that time. Glad I did, because KMI had a big drop after earnings, and then I'm back in it again on that drop. So, well, things are sort of selling off here. Yeah, AMD's going one way, Amazon's going the other, and there's your bounce on Tesla. So, all right, I am going to grab some breakfast. Well, markets are kind of rolling over now. So that's it. Eamon, thanks for hopping on. Always like your insight, and your ATR discussion was great. So thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Brian. Enjoy your breakfast and have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you. All right. And remember, guys, we will be back on at 3:30. And we'll be covering some of the earnings that'll be coming out later today. So cheers, everybody. Keep it green.
All right, guys. So let me actually also talk to you
All
about
right,
something else that
thanks,
is
Brian.
interesting. Oh, hey,
Hey, Eamon.
Carlos.
Hey, how you doing? I'm just gonna log off from our chat room, and we're gonna
Hmm.
continue on YouTube, and I'll be on with you in just a second here.
Of course, take your time. So let's wait for Carlos to fix that.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you, Carlos. So, guys, like I said, I want to talk to you about something that's interesting regarding my trading style and how I trade in general, because that was kind of a game changer for me. Back in time when I started trading in 2017, I focused on one single strategy, the ABCD pattern. I read a lot of day trading books. This cat is angry. Just come or leave. So, like I said, I read a lot. Oh, someone wanted to see the cat, right? Come here. Come here. Come here. There it is, guys. That's a Bengal cat. He's a male, and he disturbs me when I'm trading. All right, guys. He just wants to play. Anyway, back to trading. Name of the cat, Cooper. So back to trading. Like I was saying, I used to trade two time frames, which is the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart, because that's what I read in the trading books. As a day trader, we need to focus on smaller time frames, which is the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart. But I guess I was wrong, because my trading was random back then. I was stuck around break even area, or my curve was slowly going to the upside. And I had a tip from one of the experienced traders that I knew back in time, uh, that I need to focus at least one or two time frames ahead. And after I finally became consistently profitable in 2 years or 3 years of trading, I think it took me 3 years to become consistently profitable and confident about my trading style. I started buying a lot of online courses, working with a lot of different mentors and different traders, joining a lot of different communities. And there was a discussion with one of the traders that I had, and he told me, I'm going to give you one single tip that is going to. By the way, guys, if this is annoying because I don't know I'm wearing a headset, I can just kick it out of the room. Just let me know because I don't hear him loudly. Anyway, that guy gave me one single tip, and he told me this thing is going to change your trading. I mean, yep, you have to. Anyway, he told me all you have to do when you're trading to make money is understand where the next candle is going to go to. Is the next candle going to be long, short, or you're not sure where it's going to go to? And that's obvious, right? Because if you can tell that on the next 1 minute candle, let's say Apple, for example, is going to go to the long side, then you're obviously going to buy it to the long side and you're going to sell on the next candle. If you think it's going to go to the downside, then you're going to short it and you're going to make money. And that clicked with me because when I saw how Andrew trades, I saw him looking for some confirmations. For example, he's saying, I want the price to be around VWAP. I want to see a huge ask above the current price. I want to see increasing order flow on the time and sells. Then Andrew jumps into some particular stock, and the moment it trips higher, he's like partial, 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 or cover, 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 right? That's the way Andrew usually trades. And it clicked with me. And I did not want to trade like that because focusing on the 1 minute chart will cause me to overtrade. It's just not my trading style. So I decided to do something else. I will trade based on the same concept, which is predicting the next candle and trying to understand whether the next candle is long, short, or a skip candle, but on a higher time frame. Because if I can tell that tomorrow Apple is going to be long, I know how far it's going to go to, which is around $5. If I can tell that Nvidia is going to be long tomorrow, then I know that it's going to be long for around $6. If I can tell that, I don't know, Uber is going to be long tomorrow, I know that it's going to be long for around $2. That gives me a good idea as of where the stock is headed and how far it is going to run. If it's short, it's obviously the opposite. But if I cannot tell where the daily candle is going to go to, then I switch one time frame smaller. And I'm at least trying to predict 160-minute candle. For example, looking at SMCI, I could tell based on my trading rules that the next candle is going to go to the long side. What's the average true range on SMCI? Around $1. So I can tell that it's going to go from 40.50 all the way to 41.50ish approximately. If I cannot tell where the 60-minute chart is going to go to, then I could do it on the 5-minute chart, but then that's going to be scalp or momentum trade, which is not my trading style. So my whole concept of trading is based on understanding where the next daily candle is going to go to. I have a list of stocks around here. This is my weekly watch list, my watch list for this week. This is the list of stocks that I go through every single Sunday night. And I try to summarize it and minimize it to 10, 12 stocks, sometimes more, sometimes less. And then I analyze this list of stocks on day-to-day basis. If I can tell where the next daily candle is going to go to, I would be trading it with confidence. If I cannot tell where it's headed, then I'll wait for the market to open and I'll try to anticipate where the 60-minute candle is going to go to. If I cannot tell where the 60 is going to go to, then I just simply skip and I do not trade. By understanding what time frame I'm going to trade, I know how far the stock is going to run, and I also know where to play the stock from. To understand where to play the stock from, I usually go to the 60-minute chart. So now you could tell that the weekly and the daily chart are what I call the tide. These are the time frames that I build my bias from. I know that a lot of traders will tell you, you should not build a bias when you are trading. You should let the market tell you where it's headed. But my bias is built based on information that I see on the market. I saw that on the weekly chart, that happened. On the daily chart, that happened. So based on probabilities, because the market is doing the same things over and over and over, tomorrow or next week, we're going to have a long week. And I trade into that bias, into the long side. I then switch to the 60-minute chart. And on the 60-minute chart, I draw levels, which are basically areas of interest. And I also decide what setup I am going to play. Based on the 60-minute chart and how the 60-minute chart looks like, I could tell that today is a good day to play reversals, or today is a good day to play breakouts, or today is a good day to play pinpoints, or whatever it is. And finally, the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart, I call them the most useless time frames. They are triggers. They're not useless, by the way. Don't get me, get this literally. The 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart are time frames where we have a lot of noise on. You just want to confirm that the setup that you saw, that the bias that you saw on the daily is coinciding with the 60-minute idea. And then you watch the 1 and the 5-minute chart, price action around these levels that you marked on the 60-minute chart. And you play the setup that you wanted to play based on how the 60-minute chart looked like. Pull the trigger, and then whether it's a winner or a loser, that's not something that you can control. A lot of talking around here. Hopefully did not get you to sleep, guys.
No, these guys are pretty awake. Great stuff, Eamon, as usual. Yeah, so people are asking about my my trade yesterday on SMCI. Yeah, it got me, man. It just it kept going. I took this long here and got stopped out, and then actually I'll show you guys where it was. It was right over, if you guys remember. Oh, that's today's trade. We'll talk about that in a second. This is yesterday's action. Yeah, so yesterday I got in long and this breakout for a high of day. Unfortunately, got stopped out, and then look what it does after. just tears it up, man. This was yesterday. Unbelievable. Almost to 42. It was just wild. And then today, did the same thing. Today, here's today's trade. Took along for another breakout of 12th high of the day. I could have survived this, but I didn't really have a clear plan. I'm not a high of day breakout trader, but this thing looks strong. I like the way these wicks were setting up here. They look very very powerful as well, very bullish right here and here. So I definitely like that, especially this candle. This is what I made my decision on, right? Buyers came in after hitting the 9 EMA, pushed higher, went long, and just didn't trust the move. I should have easily survived this, and I would have been at 42.25. So got out at break even, slight, very little loss because it was not exactly a break even. And then, but the winner today was Tesla. So Tesla today was my winner. Got in for the breakout. I think Brian called this out, how strong it was becoming here. I think he might have taken it short early on, got out quickly, and then it started to push higher. Added some more when I saw this candle. This candle was really, really nice. The better entry would have been right here. This is your entry, right in this area. This is the confirmation that this thing's ready to go above the VWAP. Took some partials and didn't stay long because I know Tesla can really hurt you if it goes the other way. So the dip was too strong, and I'm glad I got out of that one. So not bad. One winner. Did cover the loser because the loser was very small. It's like $25. So again, not bad as far as the losing trade. But yeah, SMCI, man, is playing games with me. It's giving me a really hard time. This is the second time that it leaves me behind. Just not cool, man. Not cool. So we have a love and hate with SMCI right now. Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but it happens. It happens. I remember a trade that I've taken a week ago on Baba. I had something similar to what you've done. There it is, Baba around here. I know it's going to be long today. I'm getting my entry like at a really good price, and I cut it around break even, not respecting my original stop loss, no re-entries, and then it just rips higher. But that's the way it is. I mean, we should not regret missing the moves that get us stopped out, because we followed our rules. In the long run, the rule that got me stopped out is actually the rule that keeps me consistent, right? There will be another trade that you'll catch, and that is going to run and going to make you some money. Obviously, it hurts because you were right. You knew where it's going to go to, but
the
that's
timing.
The way it is.
It's all about the timing, man, right? So, but in this one here, it was just clearly I just didn't stick to the plan. Like all you have to do is execute the plan, and I didn't have a great plan. I got in without thinking about my stop loss, without thinking about my profit target. And look at this level at 42.25. I mean, it's a perfect level. I had it there. What's this, pre-market high or low from the daily? But it's a perfect level. That's my target. I just didn't have the plan set out. This is why I always tell the on the onboarding class and on the P Capital, I tell members, gotta have a plan in place when you get in. You know, if you don't have a plan, then once you're in the trade, which happened to me today, you start to make decisions. Okay, should we stay? Should we go? And it's easier when you just get in the trade and all you have to do is just follow the plan. You don't got to do anything. You don't have to, overthink things. And here it's just clearly no plan. But it is what it is. Also, I'm not gonna lie. Part of it was, hey, I had a good trade on Tesla. I did not want to give no money back. Like, I want this to be a green day. And that kind of plays a part in it as well, right? So thinking about the P&L, which I did a little bit. I thought about the P&L. I'm like, I don't want to give nothing back, and just got out of the trade. So it happens.
Having a plan, talking about that, that was actually a game changer for me as well, because back in time when I used to trade only looking or watching the 1 and the 5 minute chart, a lot of decision making was impulsive. You just see it going up, you jump up. You see it going down, you jump down. At the moment, when my whole plan is built in the pre-market, 925, I know exactly where I want to play. For example, Tesla 2, I know where I want to play it to. I know what price action I want to see before I pull the trigger. And then you just sit and wait. You sit and wait for everything, for the price action to unfold. The moment you see everything, you execute it. If it works, it works. If it fails, it fails. It's a risk-free trade. There is a lot of stress involved in trading, and I don't know, if I did not change my trading style, probably I would have just died from heart attack, because all of these random price action, you just build, watch, trade, and lose. So much impulsive decisions that you cannot really control. But right now, at this stage of trading, I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I just wait. It's really stress-free.
Yeah, I agree, man, and it happens over time too. Like regardless of the strategy, when we're man, I want to say young and experienced traders, we see the price go up, like, oh, it's going to go long, and there's no indication of a strategy that's going long. Man, I did that so many times, and it works here and there, but for the long run, it doesn't pay off. So I think with time too,
Exactly.
you start learning, like, okay, I'm not going to chase you just because you put, a green candle. We go win away here and see how this develops. So that's also a big part of it. Guys, over on YouTube, if
Exactly.
you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. We're sitting at 337 last time I checked, so thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And also subscribe as well. We're going to be live later today with earnings on SMCI, Upstart, which is not the one we're going to focus on the most, but SMCI, Lyft, and Dash are all reporting today. The big one for me is SMCI. This thing is should be interesting going into today's report. So see how it goes.
So let's answer some questions that I skipped. Zach, first of all, is asking, but isn't it harder to predict under Trump administration? Zach, so there are days where it is easy to predict where the market is headed. There are days where, and seasons, let's say, where it's difficult to predict where the daily candle or where the market is headed. It's really difficult to predict where the market is headed after news, after earnings. And like you said, if there are some sudden announcements, and there was a lot under Trump administration. So whenever I'm trading, it's not only a long and a short, there is also a skip. So if I'm not sure where the market is headed today, if I know that there will be some sort of an announcement today or some earnings or some news or whatever, then I'll probably not trade this day, or I will watch a smaller time frame. I'm not going to hold it for a longer term trade for intraday, because the announcement will come and it will just flip the whole price action against me. I just go for momentum plays for 5 or 10 minute plays. So yeah, it also depends on the stocks. For example, I noticed that, and by the way, it's also with a lot of my mentees, the ideal percentage for predicting where the market is headed is around 70 to 75. Usually I do this exercise based on a few set of rules that I have. I go back in time and I say, for example, next candle long, next candle long, next candle long, next candle short, next candle skip, something like this. And I want to see that I have a 70 or 75% hit rate predicting the next candle. On stocks like Tesla, AMD, high cap stocks, CCL, NVIDIA, it's easy to tell where the next candle is headed. On stocks like BP, BE, Billy, I noticed that it's more difficult to predict the next candle. This way, I develop a feeling for how the stock moves and what stock I'm doing better at. For example, if today I'll be watching AMD and Apple, I know that my hit rate on AMD is higher than, sorry, AMD and BABA. I know that my hit rate on AMD is higher than BABA. So I'll be paying closer attention to AMD. On some stocks, it's easier to predict the 60-minute candle than the daily candle. So I still keep them on my list because I know that they are good for momentums. Some other stocks are better to play ranges on rather than momentum and trend rates. So you develop these feelings based on time, on experience. But this experience comes from practice. You need to start practicing, you need to start developing rules, and the more time you put into it, the easier it's going to be for you in the future. And Amin asked, what is your stop strategy? I don't have a fixed stop loss strategy. It depends on a fixed stop loss rule. It depends on the strategy that I'm playing. And I'm playing a lot of different strategies. There is the pinpoint strategy, the breakout strategy, the parabolic reversal strategy, the ABCD pattern strategy, and every single strategy has its own stop loss rules. And I'll be honest with you guys, you can't just make one stop loss rule and generalize it. That is the way I get stopped out, because the price action is random and every stock every day should be treated individually. Maybe at some points I'll be exiting at break even, and some at other points I will exit at my max loss per trade. Some points I'll cut my loser, or some days I'll cut my loser at half an hour loss. Obviously, I have the rules for them. There are general rules and there are exceptions. So getting to Cam, question, do you have a specific risk versus reward like Thor, for example, 4 to 1 and 20% win rate break even? I trade based on price action. There are different daily scenarios that I have. Let me actually share with you the small presentation that I have in my course and that I also teach with capital members. on different daily scenarios. So there is the inside bar daily candle, there is the outside bar daily candle, and there is after the long bar daily candle. And every single scenario is traded differently. Inside bar daily candle, obviously what my process is like this. One, I try to identify what market phase are we sitting in right now. Are we sitting in advancing and declining phase, which is a trending phase, or are we sitting in topping and bottoming phase, which is a ranging phase? Once I've identified that, I go to the last part around here. Some rules to predict the next daily candle. Obviously, these are not everything. There are exceptions, there are more rules. This is just a head start. For example, in a range, I follow this range. In a trend, I follow these rules. Around the 50, I follow these rules. That's my second thing that I'm doing. After I'm done predicting the next daily candle, and let's say that I believe that tomorrow is going to be a long day. I saw this at night, and I believe that tomorrow we're going to go to the long side. The market can open anywhere, right? It could open around the previous day close. It could gap up. It could gap down. If it gaps down, that's the inside bar daily candle scenario. How do I manage trades in an inside bar daily candle? There are, let's say the ATR is $4. The price is 131. And this is the ATR, 135. Between the current price and the full ATR, there are so many levels against it. There is the previous day close. There is yesterday's high. There are a lot of levels from yesterday that the price could reject and go against me. So obviously, in an inside bar daily candle, I'll be managing my trades carefully. I'll be locking in profits around levels. I'll be more aggressive moving my stop loss to break even. I'll be less aggressive adding into my position. And this is an example for an inside bar daily candle, where today we're sitting inside yesterday, and I see that there is a lot of resistance against me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. If it trips higher, I'll hold it for a run. If it's not running, I'm just cutting out at whatever it is. The outside bar daily scenario, though, is my favorite scenario, because if we clear the resistance area, then there is literally nothing ahead of us except for the average range. And this is an example, a clear example of an A plus breakout setup. You could see that we were sitting in a declining phase, trending down. Then we started forming a range, and finally this range was broken here on this particular day. Because of that, I believe that the next day is going to be a long day. So now I know that NKLA tomorrow is going to be long, and I know that it's going to run for around $1. So I know that NKLA is going to go from 13.10 to 14.10. Based on my 60-minute rules, fortunately I'll not be able to share all the presentations with you, but at least let me make it as clear as possible. Based on my 60-minute rules, if I see 3 to 4 candles sitting next to each other, hugging each other around yesterday's high, then this is an ideal scenario to play a breakout setup. Ideally, I want to play my breakout setup within the first or the second 5-minute candle at the breakout area. Now that I played it to the long side, I will lock in some profits, but my final target will be around the ATR. That is my final target. And obviously, in these cases, I'm okay holding through pullbacks. But if the daily chart looks bad, but the 60-minute chart looks good, then in that particular case, like you said, Cam, I'll be moving my stop loss to break even. Or rather than holding something to break even, I'll just take my profits at the closest possible level. Because why would I give 20% of my position every single time at break even or hope that it's going to run? You don't want to trade based on hope. You don't want to trade based on today could be a runner, so I'm going to leave 20%. You're going to leave 20% at break even today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, and then maybe 1 in 10 trades, one of your trades is going to be a runner. But are you actually willing to leave 20% of your position and bail out of it at break even every single day just to catch 1 out of 10 trades as a runner? In my opinion, that's not a good hit rate, and you're leaving a lot of profits on the table. If you trade more based on technical basis, then you can make more money.
And we got some good comments in chat. This is part of your presentation on tradingterminal.com, or is it part of Bareboot Traders? Where can people find this?
Trading Terminal, it's on my course. So if you guys want, you can sign up for the course, but I don't want to force you to buy anything. You can always email me, ask me any questions. I'm trying to be as detailed about it as possible.
All right, awesome. Awesome. If you guys want to know more,
Uh,
tradingterminal.com, hit the Academy button, and you can see all the stuff that Eamon has there. You got a few videos there. I see you got probably like at least 3 or 4 with different stuff on there. So if you want to learn more about that, you can as well. But as you say, you can email Eamon at bearwithchoice.com. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, he can hook you up with that as well.
Yeah, this is the multiple time frame analysis course. By the way, all the courses right now at 50% discount. Now, DigiPoints is asking, Eamon, can you do your time frame analysis on any all Mag 7 right now? Yeah, you could do these multiple time frame analysis literally on any single time frame, on any single stock, on futures, on Forex. Price action is the same. It's candles and volume, and it's repeatable. It depends just on your trading style. For example, if you are a swing trader, you'll be applying these rules on the weekly chart and on the daily chart. Or on the weekly and the monthly. If you're a day trader who holds for trends, you probably want to do these analysis on the daily chart and the 60-minute chart. If you're a scalper or a momentum trader, you want to do these analysis on the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart. That's something similar to it. Could we see? Let me see if I missed any other question. Okay, I didn't miss anything. So, sorry guys for talking a lot. Because when I just start,
No, this is good, man.
can't
It's
stop.
good information. No, it's great information, man. So all good. I was just looking at Andrew's video on his Instagram with this lightning was really crazy. Like it was pretty close. So that's interesting stuff. All right. Man, yeah, guys, I see the comments on Tesla. Tesla dropping pretty aggressive here. We're having a rough time. Tesla is struggling big time. So right now we are down almost 4%. Volume keeps climbing here, and if you look at the daily, you can kind of see an area of support between November, getting right before December, end of November. You see that area of support there. So we're kind of testing that now, but the weakness here right now is definitely strong. Be careful if you're doing reversals. Wait for an actual setup. When things get going like this, you guys remember Apple? Apple got going like this, and it would just not turn around. I mean, it was seriously something going on there, and just their iPhone sales not doing great. Just a lot of negative news. Their earnings were not awesome, and it just kept dropping. So this is looking like that. I know we're getting a little bit of a bounce here, but just be careful if you're looking to reverse this, because right now the weakness is definitely strong at the moment.
Talking about reversals, by the way, guys, this is a good note that Carlos has mentioned around here. Normally, the strategy that I trade intraday, it depends on the market phase. If you take a look at Tesla on the daily chart, you could see that there was a consolidation around here, right? Or a range. This here is the period where you want to trade reversals. When the market is just going sideways and you see a green after a red, after a red, after a green, a hammer, a red, a green, it's random. It's random price action. There is no trend. There is no catalyst. It's just stuck in a long-term trend. In these type of markets, you want to focus on setups like channel plays and like reversals. But once the market clears the area either to the upside or to the downside and it starts trending, this is where you want to be less aggressive with reversals. For example, in this type of market around here, you want to play breakdowns, reverse ABCDs, pinpoints to the short side. You can play reversals, but you want to play reversals into the direction of the trend. For example, since the market is weak, if intraday we are going to the upside, you could catch a reversal to the downside. You don't want to play a reversal against the direction of the trend. The win rate and the hit rate on these type of plays is really low. For reversals, you also want to play them always around levels. Now, Carlos mentioned the good zone on Tesla, somewhere around November to December. But now, where is the level? It could be here, right? It could be approximately here. It could be somewhere around here. So it's a bit of a random price action, and we don't know where the level is exactly is. These levels, they are zones. They're areas of interest. And the thing about levels, and this is also a lot of day traders misunderstand, when the level gets broken, they think that it's going to sell off right now. It's not like that. A level is a zone. The price could bounce closer to it, from it, or slightly below it. You want to first of all confirm that this level is a level or area of interest by looking at volume. And the second thing, you need a pattern around the level before you trade. And the bigger the time frame that you look for the level on, the less accurate it is. If you look for a level on the daily chart, then there is an area of inaccuracy. It could be somewhere around 30% of the ATR above or below the level. So the thing that I usually do is first I draw the levels on the daily chart, then I switch to the 60-minute chart. Let's go and switch to the 60-minute chart. And then we go back in time into this area where we found these levels at. There it is. And we try to readjust the levels because you could see that, okay, based on the 60-minute chart, this looks more accurate around here. This looks enough accurate up here. And then we have something around here, which is good enough, right? There is a touch here. By the way, draw levels based on the concept of multiple touches. You don't want to just do something like here and here and here. Try to connect the dots. There is a dot here, there is a dot here, and here, and here, and here. That means that this level is good enough. This one I don't like a lot. I mean, it's just one touch, but it's extreme. So you can just keep it around there. So now we have a few levels. 347.70, 334.70, 324.20, and 303. Now we go to today's price action or today's area, and we see where we are sitting at. We are sitting at 336, and we are holding a random area. Personally, for me, even though the price action looks like it is bottoming, I'm not going to force a reversal around here because it's happening in a void. There is nothing that's holding the price around here yet. So if I want to play a reversal, I want to see it reaching the level. Reaching the level is not enough. You want to confirm that the level is actually holding. And how will you confirm that the level is actually holding? By seeing a double bottom, ideally on the 5-minute chart, not the 1-minute chart, because the 1-minute chart at this noisy. Or by seeing an increasing volume around the level. Once you confirm that the level is holding, then you look for a setup. A setup could be a parabolic reversal, a double bottom, a head and shoulders, or anything like that. The fact that the stock hit a level does not mean that the level is going to be held. A level is just one of the things that you're looking for before you play a reversal.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And I'm not a great reversal trader, so I won't be looking for these. But if I ever do trade one, because I traded before, I want to see a very, very strong level. And you're right, the 1 minute, I wouldn't use the 1 minute. I use like the 5 or something higher, maybe in a 15 minutes. Just a higher time frame is just much cleaner to use. Comments in chat. What we have here? Let's take a look. Jamie. Oh man. All right. When we say short side, yeah, we're usually talking about selling and shorting equities, right? So yeah, Brandon answered that. So shorting equities is usually what we're talking about. We're both equities traders. I know they're. I mean, do you trade any options at all, or you're all equities?
That's actually a good question. I started trading options recently for one single reason. I don't do any Greek or zero DT or any complicated things. I do that just for leverage. When I started trading back in 2017 and when I became finally consistently profitable in 2020, I used to risk $5 per trade, just a small amount to get a feel of it and to get used to it. I did not have a lot of capital. I did not grow up in a rich family. I sold my car. I took some loan. I did everything that a day trader should not do to get a $25,000 account and not follow the PDT rule. So I knew I cannot blow it. I knew I cannot blow it. I have only one chance on it. So I risked $5 per trade, and every single week, every single green week, I used to increase my risk by 20 or 10%. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, and I used to increase it and increase it and increase it until I hit a roof. Like, you get it to a point where you want to risk more, you want to go in heavier, but you don't have enough buying power. So my risk tolerance is high. I want to risk more. I want to make more, but I don't have enough buying power. That's why I started trading options. Most of the time, I trade equities. I trade stocks. The issue with options is one, you can't trade options on all the stocks that you're trading because not all of them are liquid. The spread is high. You can do options like on stocks that Avi called the Mag 7, right? It's stocks that are liquid, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, SpyQs. And I don't find opportunities every day in these type of stocks. Based on the concept of predicting the next candle, which is my trading style, I have my list of stocks. There it is. This is the list of stocks that I go through. There are a lot of stocks around here, and I will find an opportunity here or there to trade. So if I find an opportunity on the Mag 7, I will try to go in heavier with options because it's more leveraged. If not, I'll just be trading equities.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, we have no good answer for you, man. We'll be honest, right? So your question is, you've been holding Tesla leverages since last week. I am now down more than 30%, which is a lot. I don't want to sell, but now it looks like I have to. I mean, if you have to, it sounds like you have the answer already. If you have to sell, you have to sell. But what advice will we give you? I always go back to, what was your plan, right? What happened to me at SMCI? I did not have a clear plan. So now that I'm in the trade, I didn't have a clear step by step of what to execute, right? One of the things I like to do in my trades is quickly answer, what's my entry, where's my target, what's my stop loss. I didn't do that on that trade. I just focused, honed in on just in the price action is strong. I was right, but by not having a plan, now I had to get out of break even, right? Because I didn't have a clear plan in place. If I would have had that plan, I would have probably survived that trade, and I would have made a really nice amount. Because if you look at the way this thing rallied, I mean, it went from, my entry was at 41.30, 41.40. This thing went up to 42.25, and that's a level I actually have on my charts on SMCI, right? So if you didn't have a plan, that's where the problem now comes in. You got to have a plan in place. I'm telling you, like, this thing could really, it's getting extended. It's getting oversold to the bottom here. And this level that Eamon is talking about, I'm not saying it's going to bounce from here. I don't want to give you hope. But that could be the area where this thing goes to, starts finding some support. You might still be stuck in this level for a long time. Like, it might just stay here and might not come back to give you back that 30%. Now, if you had a plan, let's say your plan is a swing trade, long term, a couple of weeks, then yeah, you might want to consider holding on to it if that was your plan. But if you're down 30%, it sounds like that was not the plan. And yeah, you're in a tough spot right now. But Tesla's tricky, man, because any news, anything that comes out, anything that could shake this up one way or the other, this thing could be back up at 425 in a matter of days, right? So you're in a tough spot. You got a tough decision to make. But if you're down 30% and your margins are getting pushed over, then yeah, it might be time to make an executive decision. It's not gonna be an easy one. But the most important thing is, man, I've been there so many times, right? Averaging down, just like you said, Eamon, and I had a decent sized account. So it doesn't. Sometimes people think, oh, just because I can't trade well because I have a small account, so I can't keep buying or I can't keep getting into a lot of positions. Doesn't matter. I started with a $40,000 account, and I was still making rookie mistakes of using all the buying power, averaging down, and all the things that you're not supposed to do as a trader. So I think it starts with discipline. So don't think that, when I have a bigger account, I'm going to trade better. No, if you have to trade the same with the same discipline, small or big, it doesn't matter. In fact, bigger account, and Eamon, I'm just like you. My risk tolerance was very high. I'm always the one trying new things and this and that. And it doesn't matter, man. You're going to blow through that money. So have a plan in place. It sounds like you went all or nothing on this position, and it hasn't turned your way. If it would have been really nice too. But man, you got a tough decision to make. So just be careful on this one. But yeah, account size. It's look at these firms that blow up. What's his last guy? Wang, Bill Wang. I mean, this guy blew up. What's it? 25 billion. What was the number? It's like 22 billion dollars in 2 days, because he was so leveraged on Viacom. You guys remember that? And then Viacom went to, what's Viacom's sticker again? Is what's Viacom's sticker? I forget the ticker for Viacom.
We'll
get it
as well. Let's check.
Yeah, because we don't trade it much, so I'm gonna have to Google this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Viacom, what is it? Ticker. Are they still trading, right? I believe they are. Viacom ticker. I'm sure if you guys remember this crazy story, right? It worked until it didn't. They were Paramount now. Paramount. We could look at Paramount too, which is PARRA. Is that it? No, that's not it. Well, PARAA. Let's see. Paramount. Yeah, this is Paramount. If you guys remember this, man, this thing a few years back. Let's look at the monthly. Look at this here. Look at this huge drop. And all those streaming services, Viacom, they all went to crap, man. And he was heavy. He was so heavy on this thing. And doesn't matter how much money you had. Look at this. In a couple of days, he blew billions, right? So again, no risk management, no plan in place. He thought it was just going to keep going. He made a lot here on the way up. And then here's what happens to a lot of us. Let me show you my chart here. He easily could have stopped here, lost a couple of millions, and probably, a billion or two, maybe 3 billion, and still be fine and still have his firm, up and running. But no, he decided to hold and hold and hold. And then this thing got worse because everybody started, all the banks that were holding his position, they started selling. Goldman Sachs was the first one out, so they did pretty good. They actually went to other firms. It's like a movie. They went to other firms to sell the position at a discount to get rid of it. And then, of course, you know what happens? That drops the price even more. So account size don't matter, man. You really got to have a good plan in place. You don't get stuck in situations like this one. So yeah, man. Okay, I know a long answer, but the most important thing out of this is learn from it. If it's going to be a costly mistake, we all done that. I blew up a Honda Civic. The cost of a Honda Civic, I blew up on one day, averaging down, saying it's going to come back. Oh, I don't care. Just keep throwing money at it. You don't have enough money to throw at the market and change it and have it your way. You just don't. It doesn't matter. You just don't have that kind of power. Nobody does, really. So just be mindful of that. It humbles you real quick, Eamon. Humbles you quickly.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I mean, honestly, I think one of the most smart things that I did when I started day trading is I instantly implemented dash risk controls. Dash Trader has that options where you can set your max loss for the day and max loss per trade. And they also have an option to remove the edit dash risk controls from your platform. So you just email them, tell them set my max loss to be at that, and remove the option so that I cannot edit it. And that's the best thing that you could do to your account. If you just get stopped out, you come back the next day and you trade. If you are the one to control yourself and you know that you get emotional during trading, then that's not gonna end up really well.
Yeah, definitely not gonna end well. Yeah, it was 20 billion in 2 days.
Imagine.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I don't know. That's a lot of money.
Wow. So Andrew's always talking about like percentages, right? And that's a good point because 20 billion, but it's all about percentage. You're at 30% now, right? That's a lot. So regardless of the amount, if you think about percentage, it's just too much. Even 20 billion is not enough. No, it's not, Cam. It's really not. There's no amount for this market.
Jamie, the thing about money is that we all think like that. If I have $200,000, I'll be set. If I have $2 million, I'll be set. If I have $2 billion, I'll be set. And the more money you make, the more money you need. So I don't know. It's greed. It's just the human nature.
Yeah.
The more you make, your lifestyle changes. Then you need more money to maintain your lifestyle. So it's never enough for some reason.
We want more.
Exactly. It's just the human nature.
Let's take a look at Apple is just tearing it up. That is pretty nice, man. They are up 3%. They're covering their recent highs for the last week of trading. And this BABA news is pretty good. Actually, I said that was not a big deal for them. Maybe it is because they don't have no AI. They don't have nothing with AI as far as a good partnership. And I think they messed up here. Instead of spending time trying to build some goggles that who's going to buy a $3,000 goggle, and they're spending time trying to come up with a car, which went nowhere. They spent 10 years and I forget how many billions on the research to do this car. And then they realized that, hey, it's actually not going to be profitable. I mean, man, they could just spend doing AI stuff and they would probably have been in a better situation. They did not have to go outside to get that implemented. So that's looking pretty good for them. They are rocking this morning because when it came to AI, everybody else is on the game here, but they have not said anything really much about AI. So looking pretty good.
Yeah, back in time, just the mention of AI used to get the stock pumping so high.
Yeah.
Right
Absolutely.
now, it's just normal thing. I don't know if mentioning an AI would have the same effect as it used to be in the past. Probably it would, but not as much.
Yeah.
Now everything is just around AI, right?
Everything is AI. The benefit that Apple has is that 20% of the world uses iPhones. That's a big number.
Mm-hmm.
30% of the cell phone users are iPhones. So that's a big number. So you get AI in there, you immediately have a fan base that you can promote to, right? So it's, it should be big for them. And a lot of people are going to use AI. They are going to use it on an iPhone. So that's going to be, it's going to be big for them.
And by the way, this is not the end of the market. Carlos, you probably remember that. We've been trading for a long time. There was a cycle where the market was hyped around the pot stocks when they just started being legalized, and then the airlines, and then there was these COVID pharmaceutical things that were in play. Now it's the AI type of thing, right? There were the banks, and there is always something.
Remember the POS stocks, the CTC,
yes, and CGC, exactly.
Kron, and everything goes through a stretch. But now this AI thing is probably one of the longest stretch that we've been in. I mean, we've been talking about AI for almost, I want to say 2 years now. And tech stocks are just all over this thing, right? And when we first came out, we're like, they're exaggerating, but it's stuck and still going, still going. So, and then here's the benefit with Apple too, right? Baba just came out. Well, they didn't come out because they're kind of denying it. They probably were denying it because of this partnership. They didn't want to get too ahead of themselves. But there was a report that came out that Baba had one of the strongest AI capabilities out there, right? They had invested in. So, if Apple is hooking up with them, it's probably because they looked at it and said, okay, this is legit, this is the real deal. Let's jump on this and get ahead of the game here. So, win-win for them. I still think that there was some shady business going on with Baba, because there's no way you start putting in all these candles. The last month you go from 80 to 108, and then today you come out with this news. Nobody sent me the memo.
You know how
I'm
sad
still
it is?
upset at that.
You know what's the sad part? I swing traded Baba back in July. I remember this is 9th of July. I took it to the long side at 74, and I exited all out approximately at 184, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
It never touched my break, and it just ran to the upside. It's at 115. It's just amazing, and it's going to go higher, probably right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it hits the 150s in the next few weeks.
Yeah, this is big news for them, man. They're going to go higher for sure. Yeah, American Airlines. It's very similar trade with me. I swing trade American Airlines a couple of times. I did it back right after the pandemic, after kind of things settled down on its way up, and I bought it it was like $20 or something. It was cheap. It was actually probably less than 20 the first time around. And we sold it. I say we because Mike at that time also, we were talking, he also got into American Airlines, and they were just rocking. And we sold it almost at the peak, which is really nice. And then I got it in again when it dropped down in August down to around $10. Every time it went under $10, I would just add on. I'm like, this stock is not gonna. It's gonna come back. I was just add on. No, it's not gonna go bankrupt. It's not gonna let American Airlines go bankrupt. If they do, we got bigger problems. But I just kept adding on. So I had a decent sized position. It goes up to 12, and it does it really fast on one day. And I'm like, all right, it's time to sell. It's getting a little weak. So I sold everything. Comes back down to 11, and then just takes off, man. We hit 19, 18. I mean, it's just
I took
wild.
AL. I traded AL, actually. I took it the same thing around $10, also back in July. Most of my swing trades were actually opened around July. And I sold it at $15. And you know what? I sold it at $15 on this week, on the 2nd of December, the week where it just instantly gapped up. So imagine I'm just selling it at $15 on 25th, I think, of November, holding it for around 3 months or 4 months. And then 2 days later, it goes up $3 more. And in terms of percentage, that's a lot, because that's 30% more. So that was actually painful, holding it for a few months and then just a couple more days if I held it longer.
It's the market's way of laughing at us a little bit. Even on our winning trades, the market's got to have the last laugh, and there it goes. Oh man, but good stuff.
So Wahid is asking, how long did it take you to become consistently profitable? Wahid, it took me a long time. It took me around 2 years and a half to slowly start making profits, and 3 years to finally become consistently profitable and have confidence in my trading style. And I'm not saying that it will take you or anyone else 3 years, because I've worked with people who made it to consistency in 3 months, like exceptional people, amazing. I'm really surprised. for them. And I've worked with people who needed around 5 to 6 years to become consistently profitable. I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can about it. Nobody can tell you how long it's going to take you. Even you can tell yourself how long it's going to take you. You could give yourself some particular time. I gave myself 6 years because when I started trading, I was in the second year of medical university, and I told myself that to graduate from a medical university, I need 6 years. So why would I expect myself to be profitable in 3 months? I'll give it the exact same time. If I graduate from a medical university and I'm not profitable, then I'm just done. If I'm profitable, then that's perfect. I can just do it full time. So we did not have any unrealistic expectations. And I think one part why it took me so long is because I had to do it myself. I was backtesting my trades, journaling my trades. I was telling myself that I did this right or wrong when I had no idea whether what I'm doing is right or wrong. That was like a big disadvantage for me. Right now, there are a lot of training videos, a lot of good books, a lot of webinars that you can watch that could decrease this learning curve for you, because all you have to do is practice. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. You have to practice. That's a big advantage for a lot of people, right? I mean, you don't have to. You should not give up. Obviously, Wahid. I mean, if you're as long as you're enjoying it, just keep doing it. Eventually, something will take. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize when I became consistently profitable, because I used to have 1 month green, 1 month red, break even, and then at some point I'm checking my stats and I'm green for 3 months, and I'm like, is this actually happening? What changed?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know it actually changed, because your progress is gradual. You're slowly and
Yeah.
slowly and slowly becoming better and better and better. You slowly eliminate mistakes, slowly become better at trade management, and then it just clicks. And that's why I
Just
said
clicks.
it took me exactly. That's why I said
Mm-hmm.
it took me 2 years and a half to slowly have my curve going to the upside, and 3 years to become confident in my trading style. Because I am
Yeah.
making money, but is it actually happening right now after 2 years and a half? That's what I was asking myself. And after 3 years, having 6 green months in a row, I'm like, okay, it's actually working now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally
It took me
change,
at the
yeah.
same time, man. It took me between year 3 and 4. That's when I saw the big difference. I thought I had it at 2. I'm like, oh, 2, we got this, you know. No. No. Had a huge loss after that, you know, overconfident. And yeah, that didn't work out. So, but everybody's different. Don't let those numbers scare you. You know, you might be on the lighter side. I think a lot of people can do it easier if you are disciplined. I can't say that enough. Just got to be disciplined. I was too reckless, wild west with my trading. And that doesn't pay off in the long run. Tesla, yes, Tesla. See, we're talking about this reversal. Be careful. It just made a new low, man. There's some serious weakness in Tesla. This reminds me of Apple, when Apple was just on a downtrend and it was not letting up, and it just kept going. And I did not trade it that day, but we struggled. A lot of traders struggled to get a reversal in it, because you know you're thinking of Apple. Oh, this could be a good time to buy, but it was not a great day to buy. And we're seeing that right now. I wouldn't touch this right now. I'll let it do its thing. I think tomorrow we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Let's let it settle out, and then tomorrow we can probably get a better clear direction on this one. But right now, man, it's pretty weak. It's pretty weak, but then the pullbacks you're getting can stop you out. Like even if you're thinking of going short here, the pullbacks you're getting can't stop you out because they're so aggressive. So it's a tough spot to trade. It really is. It's almost getting to your level, a couple of points more, and you'll get to that level that you highlighted earlier today. Wow, look at SMCI. That's news. I know Powell's still talking. I believe he is. I gotta check. But yeah, look at SMCI. Nice loss of the VWAP, dropping down here. So how about you guys mentioning RGTI? Also seeing some red here at 1140 started. QBTS. QBTS, yeah, not doing some hot. So maybe quantum stocks are taking a little bit of a hit here. Nvidia's dropping. Nvidia also not liking the situation right now. I'm just gonna check Benzinga. This is part of your membership as well. You can go to Benzinga, click on the little button at the top of the chat room, and you can get access to the headlines of what's going on. I'm gonna search Nvidia, see if anything comes up here. All right, while we wait for that, I'll bring it up once we have that. I see you bringing that up as well. There we go. Let's see what Nvidia has, or SMCI, or any of those tickers are dropping. You know what? You might be able to search quantum. These are quantum stocks, so maybe something with them.
Nothing so far.
Nothing so far. Okay.
Probably some. Yeah, nothing so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have
So
to
there
check.
is.
But hmm
Yeah. So there is a quick question. I mean, what's your daily goal profit, and do you have a? Is it 0.5% or 1%? I'll be honest with you. I don't have a daily goal profit. It used to mess up my psychology. The reason behind that is that you can't force the market to give you enough money to hit your goal. What I'm doing is I trade the opportunities in front of me. If I see a clear setup in front of me that meets my trade book criteria, I will take it. If I make money and there is another setup that meets my trade book criteria, why would I call it a day because I hit daily goal when I will come back tomorrow to trade the exact same setup? If I see multiple setups that meet my trade book today, I will keep trading until there are no opportunities. And if there are no opportunities, then I will take a day off and I will not trade at all, because I can't force the market to hit my daily goal or to respect the percentage that I want to trade. I just trade opportunities. Sometimes I'll have big green days. Sometimes it's small green days. Sometimes it's small red days. Worst case, it's a max loss per day. What you need to do is just reprogram your mindset and trade the opportunities in front of you. You don't need to trade a perfect setup tomorrow when there isn't one in front of you right now. Just take everything that the market is giving you and don't trade when there are no opportunities.
Yeah, just reading some headlines here. So Apple's AI split chooses Alibaba for China and OpenAI for everything else. Oh, that's interesting. So Apple's doing Baba's not for all the users. It's just for China, and then OpenAI is for everyone else. That could be that's a power move. That's a power move on Apple because they have this tension between China and their iPhones. So maybe by them doing this, Baba's probably gonna have some pull and say, "Hey, allow the phones to be sold here." That's a very interesting partnership. Now, that's you know, that's not a great thing for the stock because that's a it could be. It could be. I can't say it cannot. It could be actually. Well, let's see how it plays out. But that is a good move for Apple when it comes to trying to get in the good side of the China user and the China government. So
Smart move.
great stuff. Smart move. It is a smart move. Yeah, those guys are smart, man. That's why these guys, man, and their team. When Meta was dropping off the face of the earth, I'm like, he's gonna figure it out, and he did. He did. The stock is $700. These guys, Meta. I mean, not Meta. Tesla dropping right now. Elon will figure it out, right? These guys are
Exactly.
they're surrounded by the right people. They been in the situation before. They'll figure it out. So we'll see. We'll be here watching.
And these are
enjoying
big
it.
companies. You can't really
Yeah.
expect a company like as big as that to just dump down and go to zero. There are a lot of tricks.
Yeah,
There is a lot
yeah.
of manipulation. I mean, whether we like it or not, there are smart people working for these companies. So yeah, in the long run, I believe it is. There was a reason one time when I swing traded Tesla, and I did not swing trade it for any fundamentals. I did not swing trade it for any technicals. I just saw it sitting at the bottom of multiple years, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy it and have a decent stop loss on it. I still respected the risk to reward ratio. I had a stop loss where it would have been like a red signal to bail, and I had a target, and it worked out
Yeah.
nicely because there is a lot of hype also around these stocks.
Yeah. You did the Warren Buffett. You use rate for hold for 10 years. Yeah, that's the Warren Buffett strategy. Buy stocks that you want to hold for 10 years if you have to, and these stocks are it for sure. These tech companies, with other advancements and their future thinking, always do very well, at least right now. All right, friends, we're coming up to the end of our show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Eamon, thank you so much for covering for Avi, who's not feeling well today. So hope he's feeling better and getting some good rest. And we'll be back again at 3:30. We're going to have on earnings, we're going to have Hood today, SMCI, which again dropping here. So this is I'm looking forward to SMCI. So that's probably my favorite ticker on earnings tonight. We also have Upstar, we have Dash, and Lyft. So 3:30, we'll be back. The link is out already. I can actually give it to you guys right now if you hold on a second. So you have it, so you can bookmark it, and you can join us for some fun later today. So let me get that to you. And then we also have tomorrow, let's see here. Let's get this link for you guys. Tomorrow we're doing earnings again as well. Same time, 3:30. We have some other tickers as well. But there's the link for later today, so join us there. Thank you so much, guys. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And Eamon, as usual, pleasure, man, having you cover for Avi. You have a great rest of your evening over in
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you,
Moscow,
everyone.
right? So awesome, man.
Yeah, it's in
Take
Moscow.
care.
Exactly. Thank you.
Beautiful.
See you guys.
All right, take care, guys. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a great trading day today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Welcome back to our earnings live coverage for today. We have SMCI, which I'm so looking forward to. We have Dash, Hood, and also some other ones that we will take a look at today. So, all right. Welcome, everybody. Good. Actually, not Hood. Excuse me. Lift. It's the other one. Good afternoon, Mike. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. How are you doing? We
Doing
got
good,
super
man.
high on our camera today. Look, I'm in my nice new home. Got an office set up finally.
You
nice.
look cozy, man. I like it. That's awesome.
Yes, it's about 16 degrees outside in Kansas City. So
Oof,
yeah,
ouch.
I'm warm in here.
We're expecting some storms a little bit later. Here it should start around 5 o'clock. This will be our third snowstorm. So we didn't get nothing on yet, but man, we are getting slammed in the last couple of days here. So we'll see how that goes. All right, welcome over on YouTube, guys. So thank you for joining us as we go through some of these live earnings that we have for today. Again, looking forward to a lot of them today. We also have Jared. Good afternoon, Jared. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good afternoon. Real quick, before we dive into it, maybe a quick check on the actual YouTube stream. Not really seeing it coming through there quite yet.
Oh, let's check what's going on with our good buddy YouTube. Oh yeah, it hasn't started yet. Hold on, let's check YouTube. Our chat looks good. Everything on YouTube looks fine. Let me go check. Let me log into a different Andrews account here and see why YouTube is acting funky today. All right, let's see here. Just give us a second over in our chat. We'll get started in just a bit right now. Just want to check what's going on with YouTube. It's weird. Usually we never get an issue on here.
Yeah, I'd hate for us to go through this whole thing and not present to YouTube.
All All right, I think I see what happened. Hold on, let's close this and we'll restart it again. All right, I'm gonna